going down, and AHG are having a monstrous first game. Wow, trying his best to stay on top of them right now. He's got the high ground with that alternator, not able to do enough damage. He's got the hemlock here, 46, and that's going to be pushing Epsilon as they will aggressively push forward as well with that Gibraltar Dome now. Again, having difficulty as this fight now going downhill, and so they're able to use that speed, but the alternator, the hemlock coming out once again. And it looks like there might be a split by Hexagon right now, and the first knock comes out as Dennis will fall. And it looks like Epsilon will be able to win out this huge for them, but Alliance, they're trading away, and so they know, they understand exactly what's going on in this fight. They're gonna go ahead and pull the trigger now. R9 spray down, alternator spray down for 9 Impulse, but he has to back away. Oh no, there's another Caustic in his way, but he's got the Devo, and we'll be able to finish him off and gets inside safely here. We'll throw down another trap as the Watson tries to push through. 9 Impulse coming up huge with that Devo play along with that Caustic. They're gonna be able to pick up 2 kills off of BDS here. SJP2 now pushing forward with that Gibraltar Dome shield. Instant Q out from that Wraith as he picks up some more light armor to work with. He was dropping dangerously low, but speaking of dangerously low, the R9 spray brings that Caustic down as KD will be finished off to the ring in this. I think they just pinged Nocturnal, who's over at the edge of the ring. Mistrals, though, he was able to get res, and now he's putting in work as Faizu and 9 Impulse will fall to him. They finally answer back. His claws will be able to clean him up, but so much unanswered damage now as SJP2 are going to be able to clean up the remnants of Na'Vi now. And the final player alive is Nocturnal, who was ratting. They were pinging it the entire time, but Nocturnal stays alive. Sentinel getting reloaded here as it's going to be difficult. Contending, of course, with that Gibraltar arm shield that can eat up an entire shot, but the headshot, the 95, connecting onto him with the 147. Denze goes down, and now BDS are going to knock out one of the top comp former teammates fighting it out right now. Taishin and Mandy had to say goodbye to Matafe. Never got to see Full North compete, but now we do get to see them battle it out here. Big damage coming across. He does have the Peacekeeper trying to lay into them, but he's getting forced and pressured out. He has to queue down, but Manditrasa and Taishin will be able to find 2, and now it's a 1v3 to finish it all off. He's got the PK in hand. Did decent damage, and they're gonna get the melee knock onto Kuya. They just have to finish off the thirst, and it looks like Kuya is the final member alive, and North will walk away here.
And the rest of the team goes down as well. Snipetown might get taken out by Storm here. Nope, he barely makes it in. Last team, are they gonna drop? Snipetown's gonna just zipline juggle, and it looks like Saint RKN are just gonna have to take out a 50 HP Watson as he falls, and that is well played from the low ground team. Are they?
6 cents, yeah.
Are they gonna try to hit this rat right here? Good 100 spray from Hal. It's gonna be a phase. You might see a push from the other team. It's now or never for the other team. They might come out once they see the knock and the kill feed, but I mean, they're still, TSM's still very healthy. Nate comes in from the other rat team. Vayne goes down. Let's see if we see an instant push from the other team. Alberelli and Reps are gonna be able to hold off as Hal heals.
If they had any utility, I'm looking right now, Guards player has no nades on him whatsoever, so they weren't able to apply any pressure. Hal's going to go ahead and set up a separate angle for them with that portal now going in with the R9. Decent damage. Aberlele gets the first knock, and TSM will finish it off. This team now getting pressured here as TSM have that center position right now, working with the angle. They've got the boxes. They've got the spray. Aberlele with that Prowler now. He is cracked. We'll go for the armor swap, but TSM are able to finish off Hill's team.
TSM is mopping. They have no...
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again for another Esports Arena Apex Legends Weekly. This is the North American edition, brought to you, of course, by Esports Arena. Your host for the day is going to be me, JetSetJamerson, joined once again by Tom Tsquared. How are you doing, man? It's been 2 weeks. We took a short break last week, but I need to catch up with you.
Let's go. We had all those rank grinders last week trying to get the clout. So, I mean, I don't blame them, but
We had a lot going on, right? Because yes, we did have the new split starting off. We were going back to World's Edge. There was also the GLL Summer Masters going on, and I think that was a little bit enlightening because what we saw the last time was kind of the Wild West in terms of compositions for the last weekly that we had. A new patch had just dropped, and we were seeing a lot of Revenant compositions and a lot of shakeups. But a lot of teams, I think, kind of having fun with it before everything settled right back down.
yeah, things are going to get more serious, more traditional comps coming out. But if Hal or Snipedown don't play Bloodhound in the finals here, it's confirmed to me that they have no balls.
Already calling them out. Yeah, we saw actually Hal during the qualifiers for today. We had 28 teams competing, by the way, 2 lobbies of 14 squads, and it was the top 9 moving on from each lobby, along with the top 2 fragging teams to make it here to today's finals. But in game number 3, Hal did try to play the Bloodhound, and it went okay. It went okay for them ultimately. I think they ended up getting second, and almost went down to like a fist fight between them and NRG, but they were trying out a lot of different compositions. But yeah, I think it's going to be fairly standard here now that, taking a look at the teams that are involved in this lobby, like always, our finals, pretty darn stacked, Tom.
Yeah, when you're looking at the team compositions and just breaking everything down, I guess what we have to really pay attention to is which teams are running Caustic and which teams are running Gibraltar. You may see some Cryptos, you may see some Revenants in here, there, but overall, a lot of these fights are going to come down to, hey, does this guy have a Pathfinder? What's up with the Watson gen? Is it down? Gibby is very, very strong right now in this meta still, even though he did get a slight nerf still. So I'm looking at these type of fights to see how they're going to play. It's really going to play into how their play style is going to be. Caustic obviously wants to hold down certain areas and be kind of trapped in a building, but he can also double as your Watson. So you don't have to run Watson. It doesn't have to be Caustic Watson and like a Wraith. You can run other things like Gibraltar Caustic and Wraith. I feel like that's a very strong team comp. So I'm expecting to see these guys really playing it based on what they're doing and reacting very fast. But definitely looking out for the top teams again. There's so many good teams in this lobby, but I'm looking at Sentinels, looking at TSM, I'm looking at Rogue, as you mentioned. You're going to have both of the formal Noble teams here. There's so many good teams in this lobby, Energy obviously too. So it's going to be a very exciting time because we have the ALGS coming up in a couple of days. So everybody really taking this tournament seriously, as they always do every week.
Yeah, and we're seeing a sort of return to form for TSM. Despite not being able to get a tournament win, they've still been incredibly consistent in terms of their performance, being able to place high. But now it's where we're seeing a little bit more of that TSM dominance once again in that last GLL Masters. They ended up in first place overall in the Alpha lobby. Here we go. We are sets for game number 1. Now, remember, here in our finals for the Esports Arena Weeklies, we do have a 4-game set. And so things play out a little bit differently than we are used to seeing in the finals for other tournaments.
It's a good path to Loot Harvester here, and the flight path is so important in this first match because everybody is going to stay committed to that certain area. Unless you end up just getting completely dominated and destroyed against a team you weren't expecting to fight. Maybe you go Geyser, which is really popular for teams to fight in the beginning. Maybe Lava City and you get contested over there. So expect teams to really stay true to where they land in the beginning, and it's Sumo popping off with a purple to start, same as Albrily. So great start for these guys in terms of armor.
Yeah, that's going to be very great. It doesn't look like there's too much contest going on in terms of landing spots. Now, there is actually 2 teams over at Refinery right now, and so I want to take a look at that. Naval is the first one to go down if we swap over to Team 7 or to Team 8 right now. Sure, lifts a lot, just down. Oh! Download the update for the Stream Deck. Okay. We'll see if we can get that fixed in just a moment. But I mean,
I bet everyone thought that there was. I thought that was my computer, honestly. I was like,
same.
Strikes again.
I was like, wait, I don't have enough money to actually afford a Stream Deck right now.
Oh, I want to get the Spanish Stream Deck. We'll have to talk to Elgato. Where's Steggy when you need him? Oh, huge fight going on bottom center here of Epicenter, and that's going to be it for Fat Fruit Ninja. Hero and friends, and there goes the Gibby running like Forrest Gump over here, trying to get out.
Yeah, this is going to be difficult. Naval's down. I don't know how he booked it this far from Refinery all the way over here, but there's a team at Survey Camp right now. He didn't even recover a banner, which is the most unfortunate part.
Yeah, this is not looking good. All three of those players are going towards the beacon for some reason. This is such a weird route from the wrap all the way around, going and maybe looting a couple of these crates, but maybe they're just trying to delay their push. Maybe they're playing a Gibraltar on their team and they really want to play edge. Sometimes it's good to land at Skyhook on the back end and go push through that train tunnel, and you know nobody's going to be on your backside. It's one of the safest spots to land. Skyhook has so much loot. You rarely get contested over there in terms of someone trying to fight you, and you can just go and safely rotate and then possibly hit survey if it's unlooted. So you see Hal right there passes a blue armor. It's curious. I'm going to be curious to see if Reps decides he wants to grab that blue armor, if he's going to try to Evo shield his way in, because there are players there, and sometimes it's risky to try to play it too overconfident.
Yeah, if we could take a look at the map, TSM, of course, we're able to pick up the beacon, and we see that it does pull down over to that north side of Sorting Factory, and we've got pings on the circle building there, and teams used to it ending basically in that general area. TSM, last time I've seen circles like this, they've kind of avoided trying to play in this town that's north of Sorting Factory, this no-name town north of it, just because there's so much action, you kind of end up getting griefed. So I want to see if they make some sort of maneuver to try and get out of here.
It really depends on how disciplined, and I would say smart, the lobby is going to play, because if you're going to play there, you won't get griefed based on if everybody else sets up in the houses around, because everyone, not like they're working together, but they end up kind of pushing everybody out together, and they say, hey, you guys, you can't come slide down this hill here. We're going to push you out. You have multiple houses, multiple angles to go and hold this, but Ref's taking so much damage. That blue armor is taken away now, and that's what we're talking about with this Evo shield. There's so many players around. When you have that white crack, it's so easy to go and say, hey, guys, let's go push this, or even if you get a knock here, that's where you end up getting grief, Jamerson, because that's when people will play confident and feel like they're going to have the advantage.
Yeah, and Tom, they do have to be careful. They were very close to being sandwiched. There was a team that was kind of eyeing them right now. On board with Sentinels, though, as they are fighting with the RCO. Boys already getting the knock on to Holiday, and that's going to be Nando getting finished off as well. And this is kind of what you run into. Sentinels, this is their stomping grounds, literally. Their stomping grounds. Although here comes the third-party push now from the outside. They have been able to almost fully reset with Peach finishing off that heal on his armor. They are ready for this, as they've even got some armor swaps if they need to use it.
If this team's smart, they're going to avoid this fight with Sentinels, honestly. But they get the knock. It's going to be Prodigy Aces starting one off onto Peach. I'm eating my words right now as they get the finish as well.
But Sweet is also here for that third party. And so one of them has gone down. So it's a knock on either side. Peach getting finished off. And so this is kind of a very tricky situation to be playing in right now, as the third party is already prepped for that third party. They are going to be able to recover Peach's banner, and they've got some respawn beacons to work with if they want to pull all the way back down to Sorting Factory. It's about getting there. So I believe Senox should have his portal up, and so that can be a play, and it doesn't look like there's anyone really on the south side. It's just to the southwest of them. So there might be a res in play for Peach.
It's the best possible outcome in terms of who's going to die on their team, right? Having that portal is going to be huge to try to get that res. But the reason I was saying don't take this fight if you're the other team is because you're going to end up getting third party. But it was great discipline again, and we're using that word so many times because that's exactly how you have to play this. If you go and overcommit to that fight, you're not the third party, you're the fourth party. The fifth party is coming in behind you. So they go pick off a kill, and they just disperse and leave and say, okay, we'll take that point, and they leave. So just a really heads up play by Prodigy Aces and his squad.
Oh yeah, now on board with Teenage Niles and Saucer over here at Skyhook, as it looks like they were in a fight, not able to recover the banner quite yet of Zaniles, and not entirely too sure exactly where he went down there. Okay, right outside of Trials, and so it looks like Saucer might be trying to make a play for it, as the team has already backed away, so this should be the free one for them. They'll be able to get that banner. They do have some respawn beacons to work with if they want. They can go over to Lava Fissure. They can even go over to Drill Site if they have to.
It's crazy when you look at that mini map and you see where all the players are, just how congested it is, where the end circle is going to be, which is where TSM is finding themselves. But there's Sentinels again. Senox is going to drop. They're on to Crust. They know exactly where it is after that grenade hit marker is going to come through. And I don't think he's going to be able to make it with 10 seconds left on his grapple. They should know that he's the last guy alive here.
Yeah, and so at this point, this is really risky. Now, again, though, playing in this kind of valley, it's the saving grace of having other teams around you, right? That make it difficult to try and jump down and thirst after this. But taking a look at the position of where these banners are, it looks impossible for them to get. It's going to be Rogue that are right on top of them. And it looks like Peach might just have to rat this one out.
And the reason you could tell that it was double recover banners on his screen there. So that means that Senox did get the res, and they ended up just taking out both players as they fell through, and it looks like Rogue's going to be able to clean those up. And this is a great position to be in. This is so safe, and that's what you were talking about happening early in the game, Jamerson, is who's going to end up getting griefed. And actually, this area ends up getting griefed if you don't have the Watson presence. You can see, again, how many players are located across the river here, and that they're all, again, going to be kind of working together to hold teams out as other teams that are late are rotating in. So if you're going to play the edge at this point, you definitely play the edge. You don't even try to get into this area because it's just going to be death.
Ooh, snipe down. Just 360 damage away from getting that red armor there. Nice, getting him out of position with that arc star, tagging him twice with that scout as Sweet is just setting up the crossfire, and it's just, they're doing this perfectly. They're not taking any real big risk. I believe that's Peach down there, but now it's sniped down. Because on the other foot, he's going to have to drop down that Watson gen. But there we go. Finally, excuse me, it was Crust that was remaining, finishing him off.
Yeah,
and that's going to be
sure.
Rogue picking up a lot of KP early on.
Definitely, all thanks to Sentinels, and all because of that fight that came in that they weren't even involved in. That was Prodigy Aces' team that came in, and then the third party that was coming in after that was going to be Rogue, and they end up picking up 3 kills overall from that. So that's great if you're a Rogue fan, and they can just reset, set all these armors up here, wait to see where the circle is going to move again. If they want to, go back and hit that beacon, I'm sure there's not even that many teams over towards Sorting Factory, so they can continue to get more information because they're playing a Pathfinder team. But when you're playing Path in this scenario, you're feeling so confident because you have a good idea exactly where this is going to be. And if you do find yourself low ground, you're one of the only teams that's running Path most likely, so you're going to be able to just zip right back. I would say, less than 50% of the teams are probably running Path and dropped a very strong Pathfinder. So he's going to be feeling really good. 2 kills, 15 squads left. Rogue looking really strong.
And Tom, you're absolutely correct because there are no other teams in Sorting Factory at the moment. And so that beacon is free for them. It's kind of strange to have almost no presence here, but a lot of that was because of Rogue coming in, cleaning up teams like Sentinels, cleaning up teams like Prodigy Ace's Dream Team there. There is one team that has now just pulled in to that other, the smokestack to the southeast of Sorting Factory there, but this is still relatively a free beacon for them. A lot of teams still on the outskirts right now, and a lot of them, of course, around TSM in that general choke. It looks like they are waiting to TSM back in that house, waiting for an ultimate to try and conserve on
they need to
their
start
economy.
a GoFundMe for some armor, and so there it is. Okay, Rep's starting it for the team, and you saw him originally with the Evo shield all the way down at that gray armor, now powering up a purple. So they've been able to lay down some damage, but just when you're running so low on cells, 6 cells overall, it's so hard to pick up kills from this area because everybody is in the vicinity. So as soon as a fight starts, if you don't have a scout here, you're at a pretty big disadvantage. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this R99 ammo conserved by Albarelli, because you don't really want to go down to 120, 100, because then you're leaving yourself very open into the late game. You're like, okay, I have like 1 fight left in me. So they have to play very safe here. Hal's probably the only one that's going to go continue to peak.
Yeah, we should go over to NRG right now, who are stuck over, that's Team 19, stuck over at Harvester. They've got 2 teams actually next to them, one to their north and then one to their south. And they are just going to go ahead and go over for this connector here. They realized they were getting pinched from the north and from the south. And controlling this connector can be strong. Usually, though, we see oftentimes Caustic teams holding position here just because he can control these corners with those barrels. But this is a decent place to be playing from because you can play under the bridge that we see on Nathan's right. Early portal coming out from Rocker.
Looks like that's where they're going, though. Well, they may be having some sort of information over towards where Rogue was formerly, but they also may be trying to just get a different position, like you were saying, underneath the bridge. And I guess he's going to drop his charge rifle. I thought the choke
they're
would have been a
taxing all the items out.
Yeah,
okay.
They are. Oh, a huge fight going on, and just a complete mop. As Saucer's team is going to fall. Very solid team there, and back on board with TSM. They have rotated now over to Dorito. So interesting that they're just going to continue to wither away here at this storm and try to get closer and closer towards the middle where the end circle is going to be. And if you're, wondering if there's going to be anyone behind that team in the house, there's definitely a team or two coming from Harvester and holding that choke.
All right, yeah, we're on board with GS Bird, Sung, and Mollis, who ended up just cleaning up a fight here on East Fragment. Again, it's about this is one of the ultimate edge teams, right? When you've got the Caustic and the Gibraltar, you're just able to just slowly creep up on a team, walk up with the shield, and then start kind of leapfrogging with the Caustic barrels and just walk down a team. It's one of the worst feelings to be stuck in between a wall and that team.
I think this is the strongest comp in the game. I think Watson gets taken out for Caustic. I think Gibraltar is very strong. I still think Wraith is strong. So it depends. If you want to play Pathfinder, hit the beacons. It's a completely different style. Don't get me wrong. But if you are going to play Edge, if you like to take these team fights, if you don't want to play Pathfinder and hit the beacons, or if you can't even get a beacon spot where you're landing because sometimes you're not able to do so, then that makes sense. But another fight happening right here as the last player alive in a fight against the Amos squad.
Yeah, now he swings on in, but it's a 2v1, and Benzako, the Havoc comes out and finishes him off. And
We have to see if he stands still when he loots. Is he gonna move when he loots, or is he gonna stand still? I have to know, because that was the aim assist squad. So, if he gets taken out by a controller player, that just doesn't feel good, You're the aim
Rogue
assist.
is coming in, though, here for the third party. You see them on the roof, and they're not able to get the res as they have to back off. The gold armor is there for Beznako. But now, Rogue right on top, picking up Drix. And I don't know if we'll ever be able to see if he's a controller player himself.
I have to know. We're gonna have to know. Someone tweet us. Let us know if you know if Benzako is a controller player or not. But hey, the donut is really paying off for Rogue. Let's just talk about how nice this is that they're not getting contested early like Sentinels was. There's another fight happening on the outskirts here. Trocky really trying to make something happen with the EVA 8. Not going to be able to. So much action over the last few minutes here as multiple teams going to fight all over the place. And he's moving while he's looting.
Okay.
Answer to the question, we could sleep soundly now.
Yeah, and ending up winning that 1v2. Unfortunately, Drix did get finished off. Rogue able to take advantage of that. And yeah, we're talking about the donut position. It's one of the strongest for this circle. Oftentimes, it's not as heavily contested. We see a heavy congestion more towards the north over at Dorito, over those three houses. But now, Beznako. Artillery coming in, but they do have the Watson Jenny down to try and save them. But Rogue setting up a great crossfire here. One coming in from the left, one coming in from the right. And it's that Prowler with a select fire. That's going to be Rogue finishing them off. And now Rogue really racking up the points. Currently 2 kills for Snipe down, 4 kills for Dropped, and 3 for Sweet.
That's just too easy for Rogue. I mean, you don't go under the bridge right there. That's so confusing to me. You think that you can go and play those boxes and it's free. Obviously, we've had the ability to go and see what's unfolding in the game, but we have to have a checklist on all of these spots that are top tier spots. And then you kind of go and play from there. And you have Rogue in that top tier spot over in the donut. Under the bridge is the next best spot. Everybody knows that. So I'm surprised to see them not go and try to rotate and see if anybody was there. Maybe just a little bit of miscommunication. They were maybe a little bit too scared of the circle coming in behind them. Maybe they thought a team was there, but that was confusing to me, and just free kills for Rogue. I mean, it looked sick, great nades, don't get me wrong, but when it's a 3-on-2 and you give the upper advantage to one of the best teams in the game, you don't stand a chance.
Yeah, Circle does actually pull away from Rogue, but they're still in. They could play underneath Donut. They've got the fence lines to work with to try to break line of sight, but it's actually NRG that's getting into a fight right now. This started off as a 3 versus 2 for NRG, but they've lost Nathan. Mola was able to finish off one, but it's just Mollis now left for his squad as he's going to try and kite this out, survive for as long as possible. He's already got 3 kill points, and so they've done a good job so far. He just needs to try and get as many placement points as possible. We'll see if any members of Rogue actually run into these nades, but Mollis just running out of time, and they are not giving up the chase. They will be able to finish him off, and that's a little bit of a revenge, of course, for that thirst onto Nathan.
No doubt, but I don't think they're going to be able to get a res here. Circle closing, so many teams going to be in this specific area. Probably not even res beacons available unless there's one in the creek somewhere. So tough luck there for NRG, but they do get the kill points that they need.
Yeah, there's just the one respawn beacon, but of course it's absolutely surrounded by all of the houses. All the teams are already set up. So right now, NRG, they tried to take a weird wraparound to the north side, and I don't know why. They didn't really have to play for that, but again, Apex Legends, especially in these high-level lobbies, it's about information. They just simply didn't have the scouting information about who was there on the south side over at Sorting Factory. But they do get a free port on top of this building.
Yeah, perfect portal. That's exactly what you have to do when you rotate from this area. You take the outside of this left building. It was someone's job in this building to go and watch that and get information, but they completely missed that one. I'm curious to see if that's a full 3-man or if it's just a duo inside.
It is a full 3-man.
It's very rare for Rocker to have this much bully ability. That's what they call it when you try to bully a team out of this building. And they have 2 players. This team may be poverty or just not feeling confident, or they're very scared they're going to get third-partied. But Rocker and Moore should be the ones that are scared in this situation. They're the team that can get shot from the outside area. So Rocker just playing extremely confident, as he should. You should just constantly be testing the skills of people, trying to determine, is this, you know, a TSM rogue type of caliber team? And NRG, they're right up there too. So right now they're just flexing on the team in the building.
Yeah, NRG have to know that this isn't someone like TSM. This isn't someone like Rogue. They would have instantly challenged them on the outside. Rocker forced to go ahead and use that Q, and he's right into TSM underneath Dorito here, which is actually where the ring will pull over. But now he's not able to get the heal off. That's going to be Imperial Hal finishing him off with that Prowler as he goes back with that Q. I don't know if they're going to be able to get that.
Can I just point out again, I told you so, right? You know, like TSM, they see a resources used, they recognize the situation. Hal has no hesitation. This is why he's one of the best in the game, if not the best in the game. Rocker, also an insane player, thought he was going to get away. He didn't even have room to breathe. And that's the difference that you're seeing between a team in the Dorito right here, like TSM, and whoever's stuck in the building over there. That's just inexperience from that team inside the building. They have to play more confident. They have to realize that that's their opportunity to get kills when teams are rotating towards you. So just a huge missed opportunity there, and TSM taking advantage of it.
I will say, though, this is a team that I'm not familiar with. Sumo, El, Bad, and Finesse. And so I think it might just be lack of experience right now, though. Rogue starting it all off. Noble's Onmu will go down as Vayne finds one onto Kubsky. And so we do have some EU representatives, by the way, with Nasky and Horizon coming in. But Imperial Hal, they're just set up. TSM getting some free fire across all the teams, picking up some free kill points right now, as Moore is actually still alive for NRG. Getting jumped on, Hal dropped down to about 30 HP. Will be able to back off as he does have Reps and Albralele to hold the line for him, and they are still within the circle here. They're going to be able to get the full reset as Reps will finish off Bad. And it looks like this is still the name of the game in North America. Rogue, TSM. Who's going to be able to win out these games? Right now, Rogue is down sweet, but they have 12 kill points.
Yeah, it's going to really come down to that, and it's also going to come down to who decides to fight each other first and who cleans it up faster, because you can see TSM really wants to get these players underneath their building. Why? Because they can end up shooting them in the back and griefing their game next circle as this rotates in 50 seconds. So when you go and evaluate the situations, your TSM, you see the team in front of you, you know that there's another team elsewhere, probably to the right-hand side, and you've only seen 2 people below you. So I know what Hal's thinking. You could see it just in his movement. He really wants to go and drop on these guys, probably screaming at his teammates, hey, let's formulate a plan right now. And you know who's going to go with him. It's going to be Mac immediately. So we'll see if Reps goes and commits or if he stays in the house as they try to clean this up, because I don't expect Hal to just go and make a portal play here, but it looks like that's what he's kind of posturing for. I'm surprised to see them not try to shoot the people below them.
Yeah, they do have some of the building in, right? But it's an open ledge. It's still a vulnerable ledge for them, along with having 2 teams actually below them.
Yeah, they don't
currently.
have to make a portal play because they're safe, but you're right, yeah.
But again, it's still it's not absolutely safe, right? There's still some areas where they can get climbed up from behind, and so that's why you're seeing Hal right now doing a really good job of scouting, making sure that their back is clear. This is the most important part right now. As the zone does close, they've got the slow side as well working towards them, and so they've done their due diligence. The team has pushed up. It's going to be sniped down, picking up so much. Rogue, it doesn't even matter if they get first place here. TSM can take the win, but Rogue will be first in points at the end of the day. Hal now making the play is going to go ahead and set up a nice angle with this portal behind this, as they notice that one is knocked right below them. It's just sniped down up for Rogue here. Prepper and Linz have actually made it to the top 3 here, as they're going to be able to finish off dropped, and Snipedown is still alive for now.
Snipe down, getting a knock as well on Albrily underneath the building in a 2v1 situation. So great job by him, even getting the finish. So tack another point up on over to Snipe down and friends. I believe that says 8 kills up there. And that's just ridiculous. Again, another kill being picked up, and no, it's gonna be reps only. And he's gonna go and get the res. Will Snipe down hear it? He is the last guy alive. He could win this 2v1.
He could, and it's unfortunate for him that there's still a minute left before this ring closes, and he's not able to push as much as he would like to right now. 1v2, Snipe down on the low ground. Does he have a Devo or something in play here for himself? It doesn't look like he actually does have the Devo. He's got a Devo Prowler in play, and so TSM still have to be careful. They can't just completely ape on him now. They've got to try and get a poke, try and get a head, hit a heady or something, but there it is. The ball out, got the Devo, tries to back off, and they will be able to swarm him. But Snipe down, despite not being able to pull out first place for them, ends up with 7 kill points at the end there. I believe dropped as well, might have had 7, and Sweet might have had 4. So many points racked up for Rogue.
What a game by Rogue. Just such a nice turn of events when they go and take over Donut and clear out that whole sorting factory side. Snipe down did a great job as well, but it is TSM picking up the win. Overall, great beginning to this finals here, and just really impressed with the way that all of the teams really played that one. Everyone knew where that circle was going to end. Such a common end circle. Once you go and see that second one and you start seeing all those teams set up over towards those buildings, it's not easy to break in there. We didn't really see any teams go and break a setup or do anything crazy, and that's why it's so important to get to there as we go and take a look at the kills. And 18 kills, 2,300 damage there for Snipe down. Definitely the MVP of that game. But looking at some of the other teams that, you know, didn't have the best game that they normally would be Aim Assist and Saucer's team. So I'm really looking at these guys, again, so many skilled players here. They're going to try to step up here. They're going to try to get some big kill points on the board. Tech, his team, Lion and Panda, the former Noble team, they're looking very strong with 5 kills and only getting 14th place as well. So many kills were taking off the board. It leaves a lot of points not on the table for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, we also have to take a look at a team like Sentinels, right? They ended up going down early on here. They got 3 kill points, but no placement points whatsoever as they went down as the 16th team. And this is kind of the story of Sentinels. It's the way they play, their style. It's very feast or famine, right? Either they put up like a huge highlight reel in one game, or they win a fight and then end up going down early because just third parties happen. But we'll see if they can bounce back. Still, though, it's kind of the story of North America. TSM versus Rogue right now. That was just game number 1. We still have 3 more to go. We will take a short break, but when we get back, it'll be game number 2 of the Esports Arena North American Weekly. Play into them, but he's getting forced and pressured out. He has to queue down, but Manditrasa and Taishin will be able to find 2, and now it's a 1v3 to finish it all off. He's got the PK in hand. Did decent damage, and they're gonna get the melee knock onto Kuya. They just have to finish off the thirst, and it looks like Kuya is the final member alive, and North will walk away here.
And the rest of the team goes down as well. Snipedown might get taken out by Storm here. Nope, he barely makes it in. Last team, are they going to drop? Snipedown's going to just zipline juggle. And it looks like Saint RKN are just going to have to take out a 50 HP Watson as he falls. And that is well played from the low ground team. Are they?
6 cents, yeah.
Are they going to try to hit this rat right here? Good 100 spray from Hal. It's going to be a phase. You might see a push from the other team. It's now or never for the other team. They might come out once they see the knock and kill team, but I mean, they're still, TSM still very healthy. Nate comes in from the other rat team. Vayne goes down. Let's see if we see an instant push from the other team. Albrily and Reps are going to be able to hold off as Hal heals.
If they had any utility, I'm looking right now, Garbage Player has no nades on him whatsoever, so they weren't able to apply any pressure. Hal's going to go ahead and set up a separate angle for them with that portal now going in with the R9. Decent damage. Albrily gets the first knock, and TSM will finish it off. This team now getting pressured here as TSM have that center position right now, working with the angle. They've got the boxes. They've got the spray. Albrily with that Prowler now. He is cracked. We'll go for the armor swap, but TSM are able to finish off Hill's team.
TSM is mobbing. They have no cover right here as Liquid's still on that rock. They have cover, and they're just going to hide behind these little light posts. This is going to be hard. He gets knocked right there. Albrily goes down. Reps goes down as well. Liquid at the position, I thought TSM was in a better position, but apparently Liquid is in a better position than TSM, and they are running up on this last team right here. They have height, but it is a 3v3, so what's going to happen right now? Big heavy pump on Watson, gets the knock on the Watson. 3v2 right now, 2 players with no shield on Liquid. Nocturnal might go down here. Nocturnal goes down. Huge flick by Flanker right there on the Wraith. 2v1. Losting left. No ult coming out. No trap. No gas. He gets knocked. Ooh. That's a good 3v3 though. You love to see it. Great shots by Flanker with the massive no bolt.
Basically in that range where they secure this all here. Panders gets the knock onto Raps, and now it's Liquid trying to fight back here. They understand that TSM now are down to 2. They just need to worry about the triple on the other side.
Flanker dropping down with a quick find my back. Good play by him. You don't want to fall right now. You want to keep that height for as long as you can. Circle doesn't have the butts in it, so they're looking for that finish on them right now. Looks like TSM is out of the game. No, is Alberlele still in?
Alberlele still has a self-res as Tech is going to go ahead and push forward here. 3 red armors for them, and they can play in a position where they have time.
Nice shots of the wingman coming off the Tech right there with the bounce on the zip line to the maybe pick on the Watson. A little highlight reel doesn't quite get the pick, but good shots nonetheless. The Watson is very low up top. He's gonna go for an armor swap, but it's empty. And he gets knocked trying to get the armor swap off. It was empty, doesn't get it. Casper literally sitting on 3 HP and gets picked. And it looks like they're just gonna be looking for self-reses here. TSM might have the second place.
Moving in as the ring advances onto them. That's going to be great for them. Instead, the drop down here.
Yeah, Psychop realizes, of course, with that good headshot that he got, from having that skull piercer, he was able to deter that team that was just south of him. So he goes for peek now, but he might have bitten off a little bit more than he can chew. Has to get inside here as his armor's almost cracked. But Krema is still up top, trying to get some damage on the side through the window, getting a knock on to Rugby now, pushing up on top. Psychop with the wingman, having a little bit of difficulty, but he hits that last shot. Will be able to finish off Otter. That's nasty Otter and Epsilon Ring. They need to be able to clear this team out. They've only got 27 seconds to do it. But good damage coming out from Rob. 71 onto that Watson. He will be able to get that knock. Drops, goes down. Excuse me, Mox goes down. They're going to be able to finish this off and maybe have a clear path for this rotation. No, Paradise goes down. Oh.
In the playgrounds. They thought they were safe. Somebody just on the right-hand side. Paradise is looking particularly unhealthy at the minute, and if
they have a great position, they've got the high ground, they've got priority on this ring, and they've got the aim. He's got the bubble to work with as well. He's gonna go ahead and toss that out now as the fray is just taking place in front of them. I thought maybe Mirage was in there. Everyone was kind of moving in unison, and Zippit still able to connect with his shots, and AHT are gonna take the victory in game number 3. Along with that defensive bombardment. BP spots him out. But JMW picks up one. Amaz, though, will bring down that duo. Never mind. Oxbow is the one that finishes it all off. And they will be able to take that win. Myth with a huge game.
Easy pick if someone's in the open. Doesn't take long for a Havoc to kill. Made on the knock on the promo, so they're just gonna push on with this. They're just pushing. They seem to be very comfortable in this area, not worried about any third. He gets his armor broken. Wraith reach out. He gets the knock with that Havoc on Bronze. He's gonna phase back, probably crank
them as a duo, Rogue as a trio, looking to finish this all out.
And this is tough. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. This height on this side, probably gonna win the game. Naps goes up, tries to do as much as he can, but gets taken out. Not enough, and they will finish off that last goal knockdown, and that's game 1 right there. Looking up. And here it goes. No bubble yet, so that means that team's still up top. Timmy hits the zipline juggle, falls down, is going to have to try to hit another zipline juggle, and it is just an absolute mess in there. Timmy hitting the juggle, dives to Storm, and you saw about 15 boxes pop up right there. Who knows what happened? And you got Rogue winning a second game? They seem to be shooting inside, so there might be 3 teams here. I'm not sure. I can't tell.
Go ahead and push forward. I think it might be Rogue.
Might see a double kick on the door here. One goes down. Door opens. Pathfinder gets the. He's gonna get traded right here. A big right hook to the chest. Takes him out. They're just gonna get chipped at over and over again until they die. Once they get in this tunnel, it's probably over for them.
Yeah, kind of killing field. this train might help them out.
The train, it could, or it could push them into Storm.
Yeah.
It's going the wrong way. If it was going towards them, that would be absolutely massive, but it's just going the wrong way. But they have cover. They're probably rotating on the far side. As we speak, once this train disappears, we are going to see people on the right side. Yep, and here we go. Rocker gets knocked immediately.
Is the train the actual MVP?
Fresh is 1 HP, and they get a quick push, and they... Oh my goodness. The train. The train.
Oh my
Provided
God.
the essential cover at the right moment.
The past 4 years at Esports Arena, we really didn't know what our identity was. We tried our pro tournaments, we tried running content pieces, we tried doing music events, we had our memberships. We realized that the community just always kept coming back for our local tournaments, for every Wednesday night, every Friday night, every Thursday night. So then it hit us. Series E is going to revolutionize the esports industry. You as a competitor now have consistency to come and compete. You get to keep coming back and let it count for something. That opportunity to get paid by Esports Arena, to get paid by a major brand that's helping support this league, this foundation, because so many times the dollars stop at the pro level. They stop there. They never trickle down to the guys like us, the guys that had the dreams, that wanted to make it, to become a pro, but never had that opportunity because they lived in somewhere in Alaska or somewhere in Idaho. No offense, Idaho, I like you guys, you're so cool, potatoes. But when you don't have that opportunity, like a guy who's from LA or a girl who's from LA or New York or these major cities that have esports tournaments that go all the time, where can you start? Where do you go? Where do you become a pro? How can you do that? How do you get paid? How do you get noticed? How do you get recognized? It doesn't exist. There's not a clear path there. It's a randomized system. You gotta be good. Don't get me wrong. You've gotta be good and you gotta compete, you gotta play. But it's hard when you got a full-time job and you got a full-time student, you got bills to pay. You can't commit yourself 100% to esports. Esports Arena wants to change that. We are gonna change that. You're gonna get $1,000 a month in pay from Esports Arena. We're gonna travel you across the country to compete against other people just like you. That's the feeling that I'm looking at that 8-year-old and I'm thinking, man, this person could become a professional gamer, but how? Now they're going to start their path at Esports Arena and they're going to compete to become that next pro, to become that next influencer, to become that next superstar. They're going to start at Esports Arena. That's what Series E is all about. Opportunity for everyone to be your first step in esports.
Is possibly a solo rat off to the left. Portal coming out now from OTT as they are right on top of the ring here. Flanker already setting it up with traps.
So Streamy, Andre, Strong, and Blood Rain needed to get out of there quick. The Blood Rain and Andre just took a lot of damage from the circle. Streamy trying to get rezzed up now.
And now Liquid, they already smell blood in the water. Vice wasn't able to survive long enough to secure that kill for himself, even though he got a knock. But he was the fourth man for Liquid here to secure this win for them, or at least it should be a win. And there we go. As they finish them all off, Liquid will be able to take the first win of the day on that Pathfinder. It might just be clear there is a Gibraltar bubble in front of them, and that might have been the opportunity. They could back off, but instead they get aggressive there. Matafe does get rezzed, and Zipith has to back off just a little bit as his shields get cracked. They're gonna go ahead and make a push in here though, and they'll be able to finish off Nasky, Strafe, and Dell, who is the other team on this side. There comes the knock. It's SJP2 going down, and AHG are having a monstrous first game. Wow, trying his best to stay on top of them right now. He's got the high ground with that alternator, not able to do enough damage, but he's got the hemlock here. 46-46, and that's going to be pushing Epsilon as they will aggressively push forward as well with that Gibraltar dome now. Again, having difficulty as this fight now going downhill, and so they're able to use that speed, but the alternator, excuse me, the hemlock coming out once again. And it looks like there might be a split by Hexagon right now, and the first knock comes out as Dennis will fall. And it looks like Epsilon will be able to win out this huge for them, but Alliance, they're trading away, and so they know, they understand exactly what's going on in this fight. They're gonna go ahead and pull the trigger now. R9 spray down, excuse me, alternator spray down for 9 Impulse, but he has to back away. Oh no, there's another Caustic in his way, but he's got the Devo, and we'll be able to finish him off and gets inside safely here. We'll throw down another trap as the Watson tries to push through. 9 Impulse coming up huge with that Devo play along with that Caustic. They're gonna be able to pick up 2 kills off of BDS here. SJP2 now pushing forward with that Gibraltar.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Jamerson here once again with Tom, Tsquared, Taylor, and game number 1 already in the books, and it was a novel for Rogue there, who just ended up demolishing that lobby, Tom.
So many points just from the kills alone, let alone snipe down living, possibly winning that game in a 2v1 against TSM. And I just feel for Sentinels because they died in that same spot that Rogue did, and they have to go and watch Rogue, and they're like, that could have been us, man.
But yeah, Rogue are absolutely great about getting these third parties. Of course, that rotation coming in all the way from Mirage Voyage, able to make it through and get over into that position to take advantage of that right in time. But yeah, like you said, it was a lot of disciplined play coming out from many different teams, but ultimately Rogue getting that spot earned them so many kill points. Now, let's go ahead and take a look exactly where we're standing here on the leaderboards right now, because you guys have to see the difference right now. Rogue, even though they only placed second with Snipedown surviving all the way there, they got so many kill points that they ended up with 27 points, while TSM, who ended up winning that lobby, only got 6 kill points and the 12 points from placements. So they're standing behind them down by 9 points.
Yeah, and we saw how poverty TSM was when they were stuck in that house where the respawn beacon was, and then eventually rotated on over towards the Dorito, which ended up being the winning spot for them. But again, Rogue, when you talk about how they land at Mirage, I'm wondering how they rotated. Most likely they went over through Harvester and then came back over towards Sorting, which is where Sentinels land. So Sentinels, they land Sorting. They're not going to stay top Sorting there. They end up taking Donut, and they end up getting charged by another team after a fight happened. And that's why Rogue was able to just snowball the amount of kills. They picked up the res on the Sentinel players, and they just continued to stack armors, weapons, and have all of their ideal setups. I mean, you have Snipe Down with Prowler Devotion at the end of the game with purple armor, feeling real good about it. I was just surprised to see he didn't put armor swaps in front of him, but it's just controller things, Jamerson.
Yeah, you were explaining this to me. I don't play controller, but I already know what some of the struggles are. But we were talking about the timing differences there. A split second is honestly an eternity when you're in these high level competitive games. So much is just running through your brain. But still, Snipedown did an amazing job, able to just get that far, being able to pick up the rest of the kills basically that were still in the lobby. Right, I believe he finished off the Solo Fide / Lindsay squad. Basically by himself, playing underneath that house, underneath Dorito here. So we do have some replays right now as we are still getting this lobby populated. It looks like we are almost ready to go. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the replays, because it was honestly just a highlight reel for Rogue here. This was what we were talking about though. Sentinels were able to clean up this fight, but then the third party comes. They just did not reset fast enough, and we see Prodigy Ace's team coming in. This was honestly, I believe, where Rogue just end up coming in for another third party using that donut as their base of operations.
This was the fantastic 2v1 by Benzaco on the aim assist squad, busting out the Havoc hip fire and then zooming in at the last second with the red dot. Not able to get the reses because, as you said, Rogue was coming around. This was the res that happened onto Hal, and he had gold armor here. So that's one of the things that really helped him out, as he was able to heal and work with reps as they dropped here. And also, one of the things to point out is reps laid a fantastic fence onto Snipedown right before this fight happened, ended up taking him and stunning him a little bit, gave information on over to reps, and then they were able to go and make the play that they wanted.
Yeah, the ultimate BM would have been if he hijacked one of the nodes and then made a fence off of it, and that's what killed him. I think he actually did. I think he actually did hijack one of the nodes there. But there was definitely an opportunity. Snipedown with the devotion. There's a reason why they called it the Snipedown for almost an entire year. He wrecked lobbies with it. We saw in X Games, we saw in every tournament after that, that teams feared Snipedown running at you with a devotion. That was before it was created. And we know why. TSM showed respect there. They knew that once they got the CC, once he was slowed down by that fence, that's the push. They jumped down and they finished him off. And so showing due respect, because these two teams, some of the best two teams in North America.
You also don't want to end up a clip on Twitter. So TSM taking it slow, healing all the way, making sure that they're not giving Snipedown any quality content.
Yeah, we have to remember that for a while there's like when we're talking about this rivalry goes back pretty far, because I believe what Snipedown was playing with BCJ and Dolphin, right? G Dolphin for a while,
Right.
and they were contesting in scrims up against TSM for the longest time. This was before Snipedown actually joined Rogue, and it was a true 50-50 between the two teams, and I think it kind of went towards BCJ and Snipedown's squad able to win it out in the scrims. And so, I mean, there is like some kind of bad blood between the two teams, and I like seeing that this continues the trend so far. Let's go ahead and join TSM. They were the ultimate winners, and this is the squad that we're always talking about every tournament. It's hard to avoid talking about TSM because they are so consistent with their results, but at the end of the day, it's who's showing up with the kill points as well.
And they get the hot spot on their side of the map. And it's funny that you said that they used to get contested by Snipedown, and that's until you realized he looked like Mirage and could just go over there and blend in with the rest of the ship. So really smart heads-up play using his terrain to his advantage by Snipedown.
Natural advantage. He just gets a +1 to charm and +1 to sneak. It's perfect. But yeah, TSM they don't get challenged here anymore. This is their squad. This is their drop. Even though we've got Nasky in here, it looks like they're gonna go ahead and contest NRG over at Fragment East.
Sky?
Oh no, wait, never mind. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I mean, you don't know exactly where they're gonna land. We didn't see the beginning of last game besides over towards the harvester side of the map, excuse me. So very rarely do you get contested over at Skyhook so early because you don't want to get third party, because typically 3 or 4 teams will land here. So it's going to be up to more, your least mobile champion on the team, and that's not how you want to start this one if you're NRG. Again, they're one of the teams that can definitely make it into the top 3, into the money here, but contention coming on over towards the harvester side, and this is what we started off in the beginning of last game. There was nobody on this side of the map, so that's unfortunate for Albad, Sumo, and Finesse, as they're down a player now without their Watson.
Yeah, and when you're already struggling on loot, trying to retreat from Harvester is terrible because the loot is so spread out. It can be very difficult to find. Finesse is just going to have to go ahead and give up his teammates here, as the banner is already almost halfway running out on board with Lindsay's squad, as they were able to take out a team themselves. R6 Silver and Plate going down. So a lot of action taking place right now. It's Dainty Sign 505 that's still alive for that trio that Lindsay and Solafide were able to take out.
No Name is the last place you're expecting to get contested, because this is some of the worst loot on the map. Sometimes you can get some good stuff here, but for the most part, teams only land here because they want to go and rotate immediately, and they most likely have a path, which they do. So they go and hit that beacon, and then they just get out immediately, as we see the first crypto player in the lobby. It's going to be Tech.
All right, and so this composition can be a little bit hard to run, right? Very few teams in scrims really tried to run it. When we're talking about teams that tried to run it, it was the former Rebel squad, right? With 6, Nighthawk and Mopork that tried to run this, but the execution on it, the timing was a little bit difficult. You got to get the Wraith portal down, and then you set up the EMP and you make the push. But it is a composition that lets you play edge with a lot of scouting information to try and get that perfectly isolated fight on the edge.
The only reason crypto is tough is it's just a giant flare in the air when you go and take a team fight. It's not like a Gibraltar ult or a Bangalore ult where it's like, hey guys, we are fighting. This is a hard commitment. You see, we're using our resources. This is they're going to be weak 1000% because the crypto ult's going off. So definitely 150 HP off the shields immediately gone. And the other team's going to charge that. So that really leaves you open to possibly getting third-partied on top of the fight that you're already taking. But I like the play. I think crypto's very strong. He's very underrated. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another team try to run that as well.
Oh, we got a big fight going on over here at Trials. It looks like the team might be lurking up top here, as Nasky, Kupski, and Horizon are trying to finish off the Trials. The loot can be absolutely stellar, but their team's up top. On board with Sentinels, though, as they are making their way into this choke point. So they're trying to find these fights, as they see one over by the choke. They got the portal out by Senox, and now they should be right on top of them here. But there's a Gibraltar ultimate coming down, bubble down. It really is, to try and stop this push, but looks like they've already picked up 1 kill here, or at least there's a body laying around for them.
Yeah, I was wondering what that play was, and then I wondered, what are they doing? And I saw the loot there. It kind of made sense, but weird ult there from Peach. Probably wants that one back, and going to be a same ending circle? I wonder why they're staying here. Sentinel's known for playing the edge and really just bullying this entire area of the map, so I wouldn't really count on where they are, on where the end circle is going to be. But when you're looking at the circle, Jamerson, what do you see? Any path teams hit the beacons, or where's this one starting to posture towards?
Oh yeah, I actually haven't taken a look at it. We've had so much action so far, but taking a look at TSM, this is actually going to be a harvester circle pulling over very hard to the west, very hard to the west. And so you're looking at, of course, taking that respawn kind of solo building to the west side, really trying to control Snake maybe even, or even the train yard connector tunnel.
No doubt, as long as you can get a harvester here, you're going to be set. And even maybe those houses at the bottom of Mirage with a third-party area wouldn't be the worst as well, because you can go over there. But NRG caught out. Is Rocker going to be the last guy alive, trying to escape? Will he be able to do so? We got the drone detected. You know who that is. That's going to be Tech.
Yeah, they're right on board here. It's actually multiple teams in the general area right now. We're on board with Birdsong and Mollis as they are trying to hunt him down. Of course, running that similar edge composition as we saw Sentinels running with the Gibraltar and the Caustic here. But it looks like, you know, they just not able to catch him, so they're just going to go ahead and run away and try to find a different fight, possibly on the eastern edge here.
Really tough luck for NRG. Pandas ends up taking out the last player who was on Tech's team, so they got that drone scan. And this is the last place that you want to be right now, setting up this early on the bottom of the map, especially when the Watson gen goes away after 90 seconds. You're just not going to be able to do it, as Joey's down as well. So not even going to be able to pop off a res. Action all over the map. Huge grenade coming in as Biznako, the last guy alive, not going to be able to get anything as his team's going to drop.
Yeah, that's going to be our 6 Silvers team to be able to take him out. I'm back on board with Dream Team here. Still haven't been able to get that res onto Joey Blackout, who's completely isolated from the squad, as he is at least on their level. They just need to try and get over there. But, you know, as soon as a team hears that res, they're going to want to drop down and try and take advantage of that situation. Harvester is going to be, it's going to be a lot of kind of standoff between a lot of teams. We have, I think, it looks like 4 teams already in the vicinity, maybe 3. On board with Teenage, Saucer, and Zaniles. They're fighting over this train yard tunnel now, as Zaniles already got the knock onto Naval. He's going to push up. He's got that hammer point on that P2020, and that's why we're seeing a lot more people starting to use it now. We're, you know, I thought maybe people were memeing with it, but it still does so much damage. 37 to the flesh.
Not only are hammer points extremely strong, they're fun to use. I love rocking the hammer points. That's a team that should rock hammer points because they are so strong, individually skilled. But huge fight happening. Gentrifying trying to get back his teammates and revenge his teammates over here, as he's going to have this gold armor, popping a couple cells. Smart play, and he does pick it up. So just a very heads-up play, realizing that he has the gold armor, able to get that cell off. And also, you can't underestimate the teammates that are down and the knowledge that they're giving as they go and ping that player.
And so, again, just playing within that right range, I think, right? I believe that's around where you want to play 10 to 20 meters away from your target to get a good spray down. That R99 really connecting there to finish out and clutch that out. And that keeps Aim Assist alive. And it looks like there's no one near them, so they'll be able to get the safe stabilization. As again, we're back on board over here. And there's Prodigy Aces, Joey Blackout, and Vuzby. Our full 3, once again, they got the res, and they were able to get out of dodge there. On board with Tech, though. He's left, and he's going to be able to clutch this out over here at Fragment West, and that's going to be Nasky, Horizon, and Kupski going down.
That's exactly where NRG ended up getting caught off guard as well. So many boxes, so much loot on this side. Great job by Tech. He wanted to get that loot, but they're going to end up bouncing out because it looks like a third party's coming. So very smart play not to go for the loot. Instead, take an area where they can get height, try to reset here, try to heal up, and then figure out what they want to do from there. But it just stinks for them that they're not able to get those cells and armors off the bodies that Tech and his team worked so hard for.
They do have a minute to work with, so maybe they can come back and see what the Vultures have left for them. But yeah, desperately needing something. I mean, taking a look at Tech, he's only got the 1 cell right now. They don't have a Watson, so the economy game really isn't in their favor. They're going to be able to use this drone to get some decent information they have cleared it out, and it looks like this building is free for them, so they'll be able to take the port back and pick up that loot. They've got 55 seconds left to work with to make the next rotation here. Again, the circle pulling down south over towards Harvester.
So nice to have that drone there. Great job by Tech. Heads up play by the entire team to just play that one smart and slow. Yes, you don't want to give up that loot, but you can go back, use the drone, and get it. That's exactly what they did. But look at these armors that came out of the vault. Double gold, Jamerson, for Teen's team. They're scary right now. They're looking scary.
I didn't see a path zip. How did he get up there?
I'm not sure. Maybe they climbed up there. Maybe there's a way that you can climb up there.
Okay.
It has to be if they ended up going up there that way. But I have double gold going up against a gold and a purple Evo, possibly going up to red. And these are two extremely aggressive teams. So if you see any damage laying down, these are two of the most aggressive 5 teams in the lobby. And by aggressive, that means that they're extremely confident in their shots and team fighting. So they're going to go and push on any type of damage that they get, any type of advantage that they get, calling out constant armors, and also just playing their lives. Because one of the things that we didn't talk about in that previous fight was how Gentrifying was using this amazing head glitch on the stairs. And that's one of the things that you really have to look out for these pro players, how they relocate, and they're constantly using the map to go and use head glitches.
And right now, in a very strong position over here on the western side of Harvester. It's a nice line of sight, cracks and hits for that gold, but I don't think they can really do much right now, as it's just a lot of poking and prodding. He's got plenty of ammo to work with as well. He's very close to getting that Evo shield. So maybe get that red before they try to make a push onto this team. This team is well entrenched in there, and it would be a difficult push. As I believe TSM are holding in S, and so they've got to be careful because TSM could jump on them at any moment as well.
This is a spot where you could get lasered. I'm surprised that he's staying scoped in that long without healing, but his idea is he wants 100 more damage before he goes and hits any more bats or cells, just so he doesn't waste any of the resources that he has. And like you said, plenty of ammo right there, so just going to continue to lay down fire, which has to be so annoying. Here's a crypto fight happening outside, and guess who the crypto team is? It's Noble there with Lion and friends as they get more kills in their favor. This is looking like how Rogue was in the first game.
Yeah, and they've got plenty of time to work with as well. They are going to be able to finish them off. Bird and Mollis are out of this one. And take a look at the lobby. We're already down to 12 squads, 35 players remaining. This is a very fast-paced game number 2 here. These teams are just fighting all over the board. RCO might have just got into a fight themselves this time around, as they are watching their back, holding strong over here at the Harvester connector. But just going to go ahead and pass around the resources, as looked like Holiday, yeah, was basically on his last legs in terms, but now they're getting pushed. Not enough time to get that Phoenix kit off, as they're getting pressured. We do have that Caustic ultimate to come out, try and buy some time, but Sneaky Monkey taking a lot of damage from behind. They will be able to retreat back to these barrels here. Will they have time for these Phoenix kits? It looks like they will, as the Gibraltar ultimate comes down. That should stop the push for now, buy them some valuable time here. Sneaky Monkey still needing to get a med kit off. Back on board with, of course, Lion. They're going to be able to get that res. And now as we swap back over to RCL, we'll see how pressured they get. This team doesn't have many rotation options to work with. They've got to make a call here with only 40 seconds left.
It's amazing to think that Lion, Pandas, and Tech have 12 kills already halfway through this game. They've cleared out virtually half of the lobby themselves off of their rotation. So just amazing plays, amazing crypto plays, Altic cells being used, and RCO going back and looting these box, desperately picking up some things, because you know you're desperate when you have that circle on your wingman. There it is, picks up the dot, switches the circle back on over to the R9. And they have a great area to hold, as you said in the previous game, Jamerson. Very popular for the team in the choke to be playing Caustic. It seems to be a very comfort zone for these areas because of the barrels and the way that you can just hide them behind these boxes. But now it's time to rotate. This is the most important part of the game here for RCO.
Yeah. Luckily for them, not too many teams here on the western edge. But if we take a look at Sorcerer, I believe Lion's team made that rotation, pushed through tunnels, and now they're coming to connector here. And so this is what Teen and Sorcerer and Zaniles have been setting up for the entire time, waiting for a team to make this rotation. They've been keeping an eye on this tunnel here. They've got a team come. They just got to be careful, and someone's got to be keeping an eye on that tunnel.
Yeah, and Zenial a little late to the party here. He's going to throw a nice Gibby ult. They counter with the bubble, and that's why Crypto and Gibby seems to be very strong combination. But I love Saucer's positioning here. Great job laying down that Watson gen. Slow play this, wait for that bubble to go away, and use that Arc Star. Should be all Saucer's team here. As you see cracks coming in armor. Great portal coming out from Tech's team. Another Gibraltar ult. Both teams playing this flawlessly right now.
Yeah, we have to remember that Aim Assist had that line of sight as well into this hallway, and so they should be able to get some decent damage off. There's a Zeinful getting the knock onto Panders, but Saucer once again with a nice angle up top here. Now, Zenials did go down, but it looks like they will be able to get that res onto him, and they've got plenty of time to, of course, just reset. Now, the circle does pull away from them. Here's the port. Tech goes down, and that's going to be Lions squad. Just not able to survive this rotation here, even though they ended up getting 12 kill points.
Great job there by Teens and Isle and Saucer. Unfortunate for Tech that they waited and were so patient that entire time, but you could see all of the resources used in that entire fight, and that's when you know it's a skilled team. You never want to go down without using your crypto drone or using your EMP or your Gibby ult. As another fight going on as Hal gets knocked.
Yeah, TSM here, they were forced out of Essen. This is a position we've seen them play before on this very similar circle where you've got this valley to work with and teams don't want to try and poke down at you because usually they get shot at, but Hal's gonna go down. He didn't believe that anyone was gonna push him. We'll see if Reps is gonna be able to get this res. Yeah, the gold bag is gonna be huge. So he comes back with a lot of extra health, but they're not going to be able to save Alberlele. It's just going to be the duo for TSM here. Now, there is a respawn beacon just above them, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get that off.
You know, Mac is like, yeah, please just spawn me, bro.
Plug me in.
Plug me in. I want revenge. Plus his box is right there. I can get to my box, bro, please. And then Hal's like, no, man, we're going to lose the game. Just shut up.
That's exactly how. It looks like maybe they are over there. No. Reps is still down underneath them, and they're just getting pressured by the team up top, and so they kind of have to wait here. Now, usually, of course, there's more teams alive, and so playing this position is a little bit easier, as now Teen and Zenials, they're trying to make their push out from that tunnel as the Gibraltar bubble does come out. They need to get that reset, and they're going to go ahead and push forward. A lot of damage coming across. He hit for gold onto one, but Zenials will go down. That's aim assist. Of course, King of the Hill on top, holding it down. Zenials, though, it looks like he might be safe. They're going to go ahead and drop down. Never mind. They get swarmed upon. They will go down as we're on board with Sentinels playing underneath the stairwells. A lot of damage coming across from those nades. There's one right in front of him. He might have been able to sneak himself into a nice little spot, but it's just going to be crushed alive with that caustic. Trying to build up a nice little fort for himself as he's just playing Dutch oven with the opposing squad.
Basically exactly what he's doing. Fat Fruit Ninja goes down and the res coming out onto him. Curious to see if he's going to stay alive, as it was RCO who got the knocks. And look how far the circle is for RCO. They're going to have to use Nando's portal here, as he does have it up. So while all that's happening, so many teams are going to be dealing with them on the outside. And that's going to be Rogue, I believe, charging them, as another player was hiding beneath still that caustic. So Sneaky Monkey lays down that caustic gas as the portal does come through. And you don't want to use your portal that early. That's just a desperation move that they had to do to try to get out of there. And I'm not sure if it was a Q or a full-time portal. So I wouldn't be surprised if he just queued, because you're going to need that portal to get into this next zone. And that's what you see Rogue doing right now. It's up to Sweet to go and scout this area and find out how the heck they're going to get in there.
Yeah. Oh, Sweet just pops in, finds Imperial Hal. He was the only one left. And they will go down as TSM. I don't know if they were able to pick up many kill points at all. Actually, none for them, as a lot of teams just going down. Now we're down to 3 squads. It's going to be a 3v3v3. Rogue versus Aim Assist versus RCO here. And it looks like it is RCO to the south and Aim Assist on top here over by the building, by the respawn building.
Okay, so you have a team in the respawn building. You know where RCO is. And then you have Rogue here that's holding on top of where they were formerly at. That means that Rogue is latest to the party here, but what's going to happen is whoever gets the knocks and whoever gets the third party last is going to win this one. And Rogue, they may be able to do it because the knocks came on results on aim assist side. So curious to see if they're going to get desperate for that one and push, or if they're going to back off and realize that they need to let Rogue initiate here before they go in and clean up that third party.
There we go. Rogue getting engaged upon right now. Dropped down to about 80 HP total here. Sniped down. Trying to hold it down for his squad. He's got that Prowler with the select fire, but it's not going to work out. It's going to be Resulta to take him down. Some controller on controller violence here as Nando gets finished off to the ring, gentrifying on top with this Mastiff. We'll be able to get that knock onto Sweet now, whittling down the numbers here. It's just dropped and Sneaky Monkey alive. This should be aim assist, finishing it all off and adding up to their points total. It's just about the order of operations. Who do you get rid of? Who goes down first? But ultimately, it is going to be aim assist coming up with a huge game number 2. 17 kill points put up on the board, along with the 12 placement points for coming in first.
And that's exactly what we were talking about in the first game. There's so many Slayers in this one. Aim Assist is a team that you have to watch out for. We touched base on the Noble teams. Noble really showed up there picking up 12 or 13 kills. So this isn't just TSM or Rogue anymore. You have a couple other teams now coming up here, and we got a tournament on our hands.
And this time around, Rogue, even though they got second, that's 9 points for them, they only had 2 kill points to their name. And so they do add on to their total, and they had a great start. But again, other performances like this coming out from aim assist, challenging them early on. We still have 2 games left to go, Tom.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how close these top 4 are going to be, because so many kills and points went up from these 4 teams specifically. And now it's going to be teams like Energy, Sentinels to go and have a big game to try to make it into that top 3.
And with TSM only getting placement points here, I believe they finished 5th, so they end up with 4 placement points. That really doesn't move them that far up. They were already 9 points down up against Rogue. And so Rogue have increased their lead up against TSM, while a lot of other teams so far are catching up to them. So our top 3, it's going to be highly contested here. And so once we do have the leaderboards updated, we will, of course, show that on stream. But right now, was there anything different that you saw coming out from this game, or did it play out kind of the way that we expected?
I think Aim Assist came out pissed that they lost that 2 versus 1, because they're known for, these up close battles. Very rarely do you see 2 controller players go and drop just like that. So they came out with a vengeance there. You saw them really taking their team fights strong. They played that hill, which isn't an easy spot to hold, very well. And having a scout in that harvester circle pays huge dividends, especially when you have so much ammo as they did. And this is where it all started, gentrifying with this 1 versus 1. It could have all ended here with basically no points. This is against a very good team. That was Amu, Blitz, and Vayne. So a very, very skilled team that they ended up taking out that really helped snowball their confidence.
Yeah, that's a caustic squad as well, generally, I believe. And so being able to take that isolated fight up against them. But this is, playing King of the Hill, controlling this. This is the final 3v3v3. And it's generally whatever teams end up getting in that first fight, they're the ones that are going to lose. It's that third team that's not initially involved that end up coming in, swarming over the top.
And they may have tricked Rogue into going in here, where they open it up with that knock, and you see Rogue realizes that this team throws the bubble down. RCO throws the bubble down. That's resources. So they get excited, maybe thinking that the other team was weak, but it wasn't. It was just a sick pick that opened this all off. And Aim Assist could have easily thrown this. They could have charged that bubble, said, hey, we got that knock. Let's go get that kill point. They didn't. They backed off. Rogue charged instead. They swoop around for the third party, and they get kills on both teams instead of on just one team plus the W.
Yeah, I love this play here. Just it's only Designful that goes down, right? Because he's got the ability as that Pathfinder to be able to grapple out if things get a little bit iffy for himself. And so they maintained a lot of discipline. I think that's going to be the motif for the day here. Not all 3 dropping down, getting really thirsty for it, making sure that, of course, they're checking on every knock. They're checking on everything. They're not going to let anything get away from them because that was their secured win.
And you have so many kill points, you want to finish that off when you have all 3 alive. You don't want to go and throw that one, because that could affect your mentality in game number 3 and 4. So they're riding this one high right now, feeling really good about themselves after that huge game. So we know that Rogue had a huge game. We know that Aim Assist had a huge game. We can expect to see them in first and second moving forward. And then TSM going to be shortly after that. Tech and Noble's team, they're going to definitely be in the top 5 after getting so many kills. But again, I'm looking at everybody takes their turn here, and it's, you know, very much momentum based and who has this ebb and flow of getting all of these kills. So I'm looking at, again, the top teams here like NRG, like Sentinels, to step it up, try to go and have that big game so they can make their push for top 3, because you don't want to go into the last game saying, all right, guys, we need us now. Let's do it now. You want to try to prove yourself early.
And we have seen, of course, in these kind of shorter sets, we have a 4-game set. It's not the same as like the 5-game for a lot of ALGS or Summer Circuit or GLL, where you've got 6 games or more. Where in 4 games, it's honestly, if one team can pop off huge in one game, they could upset the entire lobby. Right now, though, Rogue's still consistently in the lead with 36 points, but right behind them, we've got Aim Assist after that huge game now, sitting at 30 points. So just 6 points behind them. TSM will be now placed in 3rd place at 22 points. So not much advancement there, as Noble Black find themselves right behind TSM with 21.
And that's a lot of points coming out for these first 2 teams. Would you say 46 coming out from Rogue? What was the number on
36 for Rogue.
36. Either way, as long as if you're averaging 15 points per game or more, that's just absolutely insane, because you're getting 12 points for a victory. So that means you're averaging a win plus kills. So that's just insane work here from the top 2 teams. TSM and Noble Black not too far behind. We saw RCO have a strong performance there, picking up 3rd or 2nd. And there it is. Sentinels, 3-Head, which is Lindsay's team in Bostic. I like that name right there. Expect to see some other teams kind of creeping up in here, because they know where teams are landing now. They're starting to get a feel for the rotations, and they know which teams they want to take out.
All right, that's 2 games under our belts here. Now we're going to go ahead and take a short break, but when we get back, it'll be the second half of the Esports Arena North American Weekly. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Advanced ultimate. That's going to be great for him. Instead, the drop down.
Yeah, Psychop realizes, of course, with that good headshot that he got, having that skull piercer, he was able to deter that team that was just south of them. So he goes for the peak now, but he might have bitten off a little bit more than he can chew. Has to get inside here as his armor's almost cracked. But Krema still up top, trying to get some damage on Luminosity through the window, getting a knock on to Rugby, now pushing up on top. Psychop with the wingman, having a little bit of difficulty, but he hits that last shot. Will be able to finish off Otter. That's nasty Otter and Epsilon Ring. They need to be able to clear this team out. They've only got 27 seconds to do it. But good damage coming out from Rob. 71 onto that Watson. He will be able to get that knock. Drops, goes down. Excuse me, Mox goes down. They're going to be able to finish this off and maybe have a clear path for this rotation. No, Paradise goes down. Oh,
In the high grounds. They thought they were safe. Somebody just on the right-hand side. Paradise looking particularly...
Welcome back, you gorgeous people, for the Esports Arena North American Weekly here for Apex Legends. Jamerson here, once again, of course, with Tsquared, and we're heading into the second half. Now, I do have to update you guys real quickly. We did lose one team, as it looks like Nobu Onmu's squad decided to not play out the rest of this, so we are going to be down to 19 teams, but we are getting this lobby underway. Tom, a lot has been shaken up here on the leaderboard. We were able to see that just before we ended the first half. But was this what you were expecting at the start of the day?
I think that's always a bad sign when one of the teams drops out, because it has nothing to do with the tournament itself. It could be something, like a personal thing may have happened, and I feel bad for those guys. Hopefully everything's okay, and that there's nothing seriously wrong, and it was just maybe a little bit of an argument going on within the team. But overall, I was surprised to see Aim Assist bounce back, and that was just really exciting to watch them run through that lobby there, just as Rogue did in the first game.
That was a huge bounce back. We have to remember that TSM, who were second at the beginning of game number 2, only gained 4 points. And so, yeah, Aim Assist were really able to just climb up and take second place away from them. And so now TSM, this is kind of what we expect from them. They're very good at placing high, but they position themselves, for the late game and end up not being in the best position to pick up a lot of these kill points. But they are great about getting into the top 5 usually.
And if you know Aim Assist, you know that they land over here and get this beacon. All of this area in the thermal area is just known for them. They've been saying, hey, please contest us here, and we'll just pick up those kill points, as we are going to find out where this circle is going to go just off of Designful's screen alone. So another fight happening over towards the Skyhook side, and this is what we saw in the beginning of last game. So many teams contesting this specific house, which is confusing because this isn't even the best house. The Beacon building is the best house over in Skyhook side. So a lot of fighting coming out and not much armor on Gudson's side.
Yeah, one of the things about being able to control the west side of Skyhook is that you're the ones that have access to being able to go to trials, right? Acoustic is able to solo trials, and so contesting here, I can see why teams would like to do that. Right now, though, I believe this is the Overlook team that was trying to rotate into No Name, and they're going to go down. They should already know that Albert Lely is here, that TSM is here, and Plate's the first one to fall, as they will be able to finish him off, and now it's all up to R6 Silver.
You're just not expecting such a fast rotate from TSM. 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and they're already out of there. Amazing as Energy. Whoa, nice little triple take play coming out from Rocker, but they're scared because another third party is going to come, as this was the Skyhook area where 3 aggressive teams are going to be located. So Energy, unfortunately for them, going to be on the back foot again, and not what you want to see from these guys if you're an NRG fan, because of the fact that they did have a rough first 2 games. So we'll see if they're going to be able to reset, pick up the banners, and come right back around. But Bird, Sung, and Mollis, they're going to gladly take that loot from NRG.
And they don't have to really leave with any kind of any haste. They're barely at the edge of the circle. They can take their time to finish off trials. They've got this loot that they can just honestly hoard over right now. And so I don't think there's any opportunity for Rocker to try and get these. Now it looks like there's about 40 seconds left for him to recover these banners, but they have not moved away from this position.
And you know what TSM's realizing is how much stronger they are at team fighting than all of the other teams here in this lobby. At least, 3 or 4 or 5 threats maybe if you are TSM in terms of who's going to be up to your skill level. But RCO caught out here in the middle of a caustic ult. That's not sneaky monkeys. They need to get out of there, taking the zip across from the donut area, and you can see that player just standing on top of the donut. Thermite not going to really do anything. Bubble may help there, but that's Sentinels. They're going to be charging that. Great portal here, but look at the armors and how healthy Sentinels is. It's going to be very tough for RCO to get out of there.
This is just one of those things you have to worry about when you're rotating through the center of the map. Sentinels, of course, always getting that sorting factory. You know that you can't just rotate through there freely. You can't expect Sentinels to not be there, because they will lurk. They will wait around because they know that teams, regardless of Sentinels being in the lobby, will still try to rotate through sorting factory.
And they're still thirsty for blood, chasing all the way around a tree. Now into Harvester, over towards the fences, possibly going to even take the zip, fly down and hit him with the stink bomb. If you're Crust, they really want to pick up these kill points because they need all of the kill points that they can get after not having a very good first two games. So a very aggressive play here, knowing this player is weak, had to run the entire time, hasn't had an opportunity to heal, and he's just going to try to take this 1v1 as Peach comes in with the help. So smart play, finishing off the last player from RCO. And that's going to be Sentinels picking up some very much needed kill points.
And that puts a stop to RCO in their tracks. They were doing great about getting up on the leaderboards. I believe they were like 5th or 6th just before this game, and now they are stopped completely in their tracks. On board with Dream Team, Prodigy Aces, Joey Blackout, and Vuzby, as they're now making their rotation able to balloon for free because, well, they were able to get through Sorting Factory there because Sentinels weren't holed up, and so now there's going to be a free rotation for them. Taking a look at the map, as we do have that information coming out for this team, it is going to be a train yard ending. It looks like it's still pulled down maybe towards the track, towards the west end, towards Mirage, but every team is posturing to try and get up on those upper trains in train yard, maybe take the tower to the north, and even position over by drill site.
And TSM not going to have that typical strategy where they're going to go and hit the beacon and go and play in the middle of the circle, because what's been happening is other teams that are very strong at team fighting, like a Rogue or an Aim Assist, have been picking up all of the kills, almost like it was a ranked game where it's a kill race because so many kills are being put on the board from these teams. TSM realizing that they need to counter these guys, play a different and more aggressive play style, a more aggressive team comp, and we've seen them do well in the Esports Arena weeklies, especially when they won the E1 with this team comp. So I like this play. If anything, it's going to be entertaining as hell, and I love to see how they go and play this.
And you have to realize, of course, that TSM, they've been dropping Fragment East, and they have a really good understanding about where everyone is dropping around them. They know the relative skill level in comparison to their experience right now. They've got to be careful with this Death Totem as the nades are coming down now, but they're going to have that extra HP to work with here as they've already got the first knock. That's going to be Prodigy Aces going down. He doesn't even need the Select Fire here as the Eva 8 to finish it all off, and Albert Lele with a 3-piece to finish that one off, and they made it look so easy.
What a silence from Albarelli going, and now he's going to kill himself as the Death Totem is going to disappear any second now. So getting that one off right at the right time. Gets a little bit more HP, a little bit unnecessary as he could have just potentially hit a medkit, but you can't when you're in that Death Totem form. So smart play there by Albarelli, but that silence on the Wraith is where it all started, because that means that he's going to be able to get that kill, create a 3 versus 2, and just continue to push with the rest of his team. And you're right, Jamerson, they made it look so easy.
Now, we are on board with Zenial's Teen and Saucer. We've got the north side of Drill Site holding on to the banner area with really good line of sight. Saucer spots one out to his east, getting some decent chip damage. This is where you can just really hold up. But back on board, this is going to be the 3 heads running right head first into TSM. It's Frapper to go down first, and this is TSM basically doing what this composition does, cleaning up fights left and right. They were able to pop another Death Totem here. As, they just ended up using up all of the Ultimate Excels on those bodies, and there's going to be more kill points for them. And this is what they need to do to really break ground and really make up ground up against the other squads. Rogue and Aim Assist, that was right above them. Oh, Cherished tries to go out on his own terms there, but is right into the waiting maws of Imperial Howl. Now a lot of loot coming over for them. On board with Sentinels, though, as they find themselves in a fight over here at Thermal Station. So
they have a knock as well. That was on a design field. They got the knock. So it's a weak player on Aim Assist. That means that Senox and friends, Sentinels, are going to go and push here. This time with the Massive just ripping the Gibby as they get the finish on the design field. Results was going to drop there. One player left on the Aim Assist squad, and we were talking about the teams that needed to step it up. Sentinels was one of them. Energy, unfortunately, they got griefed over towards the Skyhook side, getting taken out early, but I'm looking out for these guys to really step it up, as well as TSM, because we know how strong they are and how consistent these guys are, and they're going to refuse to lose every single tournament.
Yeah, and if you're Rogue, if you're TSM, you are happy with that result. Remember, they were the second place team aim assist coming in here to game number 3. Hal keeping Scout out here on the eastern edge. Well, not with the Scout. He's got the R99, of course. It's Hal. But he's trying to find another fight for them to take because currently right now, TSM, they've gotten 7 kill points. It's half the lobby, more than half the lobby is still alive. And so this is, again, their opportunity to really make up ground up against Rogue, who are, I think, about 12 points ahead of them currently, and they are closing that gap.
They're just like sharks in the water right now, trying to pick off all these little minnows rotating on over towards the train side. And Crypto, I feel like, would be so strong in the train area, because if you get into, say, the train tunnel, then you could go and scout exactly where you want to go and approach the train situation. You can go and lay an EMP and go and charge these people. Keep in mind, it's going to kill Watson ults. It's going to kill the fences. It's going to kill Crypto barrels that are on the ground. It will kill the EMP will even knock down a Gibby bubble if it's been thrown down. So Crypto really counters almost everybody. And then you got to deal with the Death Totem coming in after that of some of the best players in the game. So I love the way that TSM is making adjustments halfway through this series. I think that's a real sign of how open they are to change, which is great, because they need to continue to adapt and play at this high level, because remember how many tournaments they won in a row at a point, and now it seems like other teams are starting to catch up, and they're trying to find ways to get back to that time where they were just unstoppable.
Yeah, and I think one of this is also just a mental reset for them. Hal was able to find Tech. They're going to be able to finish that off easily here as they rotate now through Harvester. And I like this move coming out from them, taking the south-hand side. They already know that so many teams are over at Train Yard. If you're going to find any kills, it's going to be on this edge. This is going to be the easier isolated fights to find.
I wouldn't be surprised to see TSM run this comp consistently when they need to, or in other times when they feel like, again, that they're just the strongest team in terms of team fighting. And that's what they're recognizing here. They're recognizing, okay, half the teams here may not even be pro teams, and we're going to go and take advantage of that by going catching these teams off guard and feeding off of these teams. So just really heads up plays by these guys. And now you have Peach with that Evo shield located kind of in no man's land on the bottom of the map, as they got to try to get up top here. But you can see all the teams that are picking up kills are playing the edge of the map right now.
Oh, nice kill onto Resultas. Looks like they try to stabilize. They were never able to pick up Designful. Hal will be sent back to that Death Totem. Now they have to be careful. They understand that there's a third party in play, and so they've got to be careful. There's one Jibby up top. There's Hal getting some decent damage off. Has to push forward because of that Arc Star. Here comes the EMP from Reps. See if it does anything for them. You're able to crack some shields as Albert lately gets the knock on to Sentinel's Peach. Imperial Hal does have to use that Q to try and change up his angle. He's up top getting a decent spray, but just not enough damage. They still have the knock. They'll be able to finish this off, and that's Peach going down here, and Sentinels had a great start, but now losing Peach, that is a huge loss for them.
And you'll notice TSM doesn't feel like they have to desperate this one, because they're just going to bait the box, get all the loot, and they'll find those guys later. They're not too worried about it. That's 2 more kills that they're just going to get maybe a couple minutes down the road. So smart play there by TSM, just picking up more light ammo, because you know Hal loves light ammo, and saying, let's go guys, let's continue to snowball this one and find out where we could pick off kills. And if you're just leaving alt excel after alt excel, that's more Crypto EMPs, that's more Death Totems being thrown, and we have more action happening on the outside right now. Everybody in train wondering, why can't I get any kills? Well guys, everyone's trying to get to where you're at.
Yeah, that buff to Watson ended up being an indirect buff to, I would say, Revenant at that point, right? You just find more ult excels on bodies now. Ooh, a nice hit with that PK. Not able to follow up with that R99, so sick, nasty Laney. Just go ahead and clear these traps here. As they've got a decent position here under the bridge, but they do have to be careful. TSM is still relatively in the area, I believe, along with Rogue.
I believe this is Sentinels because it's a two-man squad with the Gibby that was running. Their caustic ended up going down. And here's the fight that you were talking about. This may be TSM that rotated or possibly Rogue throughout here as a couple Peacekeeper shots coming in. 11, and a whiff as well. 46 blue on him, and it's not going to be TSM. It's going to be a completely different team. TSM could end up cleaning this up because they are in the vicinity. No, they rotated outside over towards the choke. So this is going to be Beznako and friends trying to pick up the rest of these kills.
Yeah, Sentinel still alive. They are actually playing underneath or in that middle bridge right now as they're trying to rotate out. It's looking like it's a little bit dicey for them as we're still on board with Beznako here. Have to pull off that res as the Gibraltar ultimate comes down now. As the Niles, the Teen, and Saucer are on the hunt here. As they're slowed down just a little bit by their own Gibraltar ultimate, but they see a lot of knocks. They're going to be able to finish them off. It's Rogue and Snipe Down who end up taking out Sentinels, and so that's a big win for them, taking out another huge threat in this lobby.
And also getting up some more kill points as they realize TSM slowly but surely starting to catch up as another Death Totem put down. And look at this, Hal hitting the Death Totem as he works the portal. Heads up play there, end up taking the portal back as well. I'm sure the crypto ult should end up coming through here soon as that was Tech, but I believe was taken out earlier in the game, so probably a little bit low on the loot, and they're just picking on teams left and right here. 7 kills for Hal. Multiple kills coming in for Alberlily as well. TSM looking hot in game number 3.
TSM are just straight stunting right now, and while we do have a big old goose egg for reps, you know that he's doing damage, so don't let that stat, you know, kind of dissuade you or misinform you about how good reps is. You have to understand also he's setting up a lot of these sprites, right? He's going in with the EMP, he's got the drone out, getting the information. Alberlily and Imperial Hal, when they've got eyes, when they have vision of where people are, they just win fights. They hit their shots, and they're able to play off that information. Hal, one of the smartest players in the game.
It's not just that, you can't even catch up to these guys because all the kills are being taken. You're just a slow little crypto. I know what it's like. I love playing crypto, but you end up that guy that just ends up not with any kills at the end of the game and a couple thousand damage, and you're like, okay guys, good job. I guess I got carried, but it's like, nah bro, you were there the entire time, no doubt. He's the one that's creating a lot of these openings for these guys, and it really helps a smart player like Hal, as you were saying, how intelligent he is in Apex. It really helps him even further his next move in terms of what the chess game of Apex is going to be. So he helps out with the rotations, gets more information that allows an in-game leader like Hal to be a better informer for his team.
Yeah, and with these kills that TSM have right now with 13 kill points, oh, make that 14? That was so close. He was able to get into the drone, but he's being chased down now by that crypto drone, so they know exactly where he is. And again, reps being very valuable, silencing out. I love how they're clearing these corners with these silences as well. Not getting any information there. The kill point might get stolen from them here, but there we go. That got the knock onto Gentrifying, and that's aim assist finally completely out of the game, I believe, for game number 3. Hal will just go ahead and back away. They've got that kill points. And as I was saying, they're closing that gap. I think they might have just completely closed it up against Rogue. There was about a 12-point difference between the teams. But here, TSM sitting at 14 kill points, Rogue at 3, so they might just be up by 1 point.
And that's how you do it, and that's what's making TSM scarier as we go and watch this, because another Death Totem's coming in.
Oh.
You don't see this. Oh no, Reps gets knocked from behind from Rogue, so unfortunate, maybe getting caught in his drone from behind. But it looks like you're going to go and have the res coming out from Hal, so he's going to be safe. Any gold bag there? Yes, they do have gold bag as well. So just resetting here as multiple knocks coming in. That's going to be 2 players from Rogue are down throughout all of that. So advantage on over to TSM in terms of possibly taking over the lead here.
Yeah, Alberlily was able to get the knock, and I believe another knock came out from a third party here as TSM pushing up. This is going to be difficult for them. They've got 57 seconds to work with a team on the high ground. Committing to this, it's actually Rogue right up top. It's Snipe Down hitting. His wingman has been getting better and better as Reps all the way back here, just not able to do much to try and lay down covering fire, but it looks like Rogue want to drop down. This might be a mistake for Rogue to try and get this aggressive onto them, as Dropped is trying his best with the charge rifle to get through that knock shield. Sweet, taking some damage as he's there, knocked on the ground, but it looks like they will find the cover to work with, and Imperial Hal gets finished off. Now, Alberlily, It looks like he will be able to get another death totem up shortly, possibly. They do need to recover Hal's banner, as there is a res, but never mind. They're running out of time here. Dropped and Rogue and company right back up on top, but now they have to make a run for it. They're the ones being gate kept.
Hal was really trying to just go for the knockout blow there, going for the finisher almost, as you would say, but just a little bit too aggressive as you go and you've been just mopping up the entire lobby, and then you go and run against your rival into Rogue. As Albrille picking up a couple of kills, important for those guys to stay alive. And look how far you have to rotate here if you're Rogue. Throughout all of that, you had to get the res, you had to get your resources. Meanwhile, other teams are going to be fighting in front of you. It's going to make it very tough to rotate, but if they're last to come in, they're going to pick up some kills, as Albrille with 11 kills total ends up finally falling.
What a run coming out from Albrille there, just running and gunning and taking out so much more, but they do go down, I believe, maybe in 4th there. It's Rogue looking to close this out. It's going to be a 3v3 versus a Nile, Saucerer, and Teen, who are set up in that caravan right now. We do have the Blutz and Jenny up, but as the nades come out, does it connect? That could be the huge opening for them. Setting up a crossfire right now. The Sweet takes cover behind this rock, hits for 38 on to the Gibraltar. There's the Niles only on that blue armor, though. We see the double hat on to the gold armor. He needs to apply the pressure. He needs to make sure he can't get the heals, but Drop gets down low with the PK in his face. Now as Sweet tries to take this 1v1. The wingman flatline, not enough quite yet. He's dropped down, and they will be able to clutch it out. It's going to be Zanile, Saucerer, and Teen taking an 8-kill game here up against Rogue. Rogue did a lot of damage, still ultimately taking 2nd place with 7 kill points.
As an Apex fan, that's one of the endings that you love to see in a tournament, where it's just straight up 3 versus 3. One team against one team, no third party coming in. Everybody's got their resources. Everybody's looted because it's towards the end game. You did have one blue shield on Teen and Saucerer's side, but it didn't matter. They still end up taking that win against Rogue, and that's a couple of points left on the board there for Rogue that could have went towards them, furthering their lead on TSM if they do have a lead after how many points TSM was able to put up. I believe 18 kills overall, 11 for Albrille, I think it was, and 7 for Hal. So fantastic job by all the teams involved, but especially TSM, especially Rogue and Teen's team for taking the W.
And the fact, of course, that aim assist went down so early. They went down in 10th place with no kill points. And so I believe they only get 2 points. I don't remember the table, but that is huge. That means TSM should be back in 2nd place, basically, at this point, taking back that spot. If they haven't caught up to Rogue, it's hard for me to do the math right now, but what an impressive run for TSM. Now, the question here, Tom, is they changed up their style. They changed up their composition completely. Should they continue to do this into game number 4?
1000% they should, because nothing's going to change here besides they just gained even more confidence. Keep in mind, the reason that they're doing this is because they're realizing that this isn't as stacked as a lobby as they would expect in a finals. They're sensing a little bit weakness here in a couple of the teams, and they're sharks in the water. They smell blood. They're going to hunt it out. And if you seem to be, making any type of mistake, if you're out of position, if you have worse armor than them, or if they have resources, they're going to use them against you. And that's very scary.
Yeah, all respect, of course, to all of our competitors. But when you take a look at the lobbies, there are some clear favorites and some teams that are absolute monsters, TSM being one of them. And they just have the experience. They have that veteran knowledge about how to team fight. And of course, just the mechanical skill to back it up as well. And so understanding who is around you after the first 2 games, making the adjustment, and then playing for the kill points, definitely working out for them. And so I would love to see this more. I love seeing this kind of gameplay where teams just try to run the lobby and, do basically what we saw Complexity do in the past, what we saw Sentinels do in the past. And so I like that we're seeing other teams being open to having this kind of pocket composition to pull out in times of dire need.
It's just like sports, Jamerson, where, it's not that these guys are just better individually. It's their record. They've earned to be talked about like this, and that's why we continue to touch base on these top teams. It's because of their performances that they consistently put up, and other teams just really haven't hit that yet, and that's what they're working towards. But that's why we stick on these guys' points of view. That's why we talk about them so much, is because there's so much to be learned by watching these players operate. You don't see this very often, where a team will just go and be willing to switch up their team composition and have enough trust to say, okay, we've practiced this enough. Practice this enough. I trust you to go and operate this. And you're seeing Hal hit these portals and phases at the same time as they go and lay down the death totem. You're seeing great crypto ults coming out from reps, and that's why they're able to do so well. I mean, 18 kills is no joke. They could have won that game with 25 plus kills, maybe even a 30 bomb if they end up continuing to just mop the way that they did. If they take out Rogue, if Snipedown doesn't get those great wingman shots onto Hal. So again, you're like you said, it is no disrespect to the other players. It's just that these guys have earned the right to go and have almost like a highlight reel every single tournament.
Yeah, and you have to also admire they're kind of calm under pressure. While the comms were probably very muddled, you saw that in that kind of scramble for the ring as that last ring was closing, Alberlele's aim was still on. He was beaming people left and right with that Prowler, picking up extra kill points before he went down. We saw he picked up 11 kill points, I think 3 extra kills during that run as they were trying to get away from Rogue at that point. And honestly, that was also, I think, something that slowed down Rogue a lot. The fact that, of course, they had to deal with so many teams while Saucers and Isles and Teen were just set up on the caravan. Now, right now, it looks like we're still trying to get players into the lobby. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break. But when we get back, it will be the conclusion of the North American Esports Arena Apex Legends Weekly. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. His first game. Wow, trying his best to stay on top of them right now. He's got the high ground with that alternator, not able to do enough damage, but he's got the Hemlock here, 46, and that's going to be pushing Epsilon as they will aggressively push forward as well with that Gibraltar Dome now. Again, having difficulty as this fight now going downhill, and so they're able to use that speed, but the alternator, the Hemlock coming out once again. And it looks like there might be a split by Hexagon right now, and the first knock comes out as Dennis will fall. And it looks like Epsilon will be able to win out this. Huge for them, but Alliance, they're trading away, and so they know, they understand exactly what's going on in this fight. They're gonna go ahead and pull the trigger now. R9 spray down, Alternator spray down for 9 Impulse, but he has to back away. Oh no, there's another Caustic in his way, but he's got the Devo, and we'll be able to finish him off and gets inside safely here. We'll throw down another trap as the Watson tries to push through. 9 Impulse coming up huge with that Devo play along with that Caustic. They're going to be able to pick up 2 kills off of BDS here. Yeah, SJP2 now pushing forward with that Gibraltar Dome shield. Instant Q out from that Wraith as he picks up some more light armor to work with. He was dropping dangerously low, but speaking of dangerously low, the R9 spray brings that Caustic down as KD will be finished off to the ring in this. I think they just pinged Nocturnal, who's over at the edge of the ring. Mistrals, though, he was able to get res, and now he's putting in work as Faizu and 9 Impulse will fall to him.
They finally answer back his claws. We'll be able to clean him up, but so much unanswered damage now as SJP2 are going to be able to clean up the remnants of Na'Vi now. And the final player alive is Nocturnal, who was ratty. They were pinging it the entire time, but Nocturnal stays alive. Sentinel getting reloaded here as it's going to be difficult. Contending, of course, with that Gibraltar arm shield that can eat up an entire shot, but the headshot, the 95 connecting onto him with the 147. Denze goes down, and now BDS are going to knock out one of the top comp former teammates fighting it out right now. Taishin and Mandy had to say goodbye to Matafe. Never got to see full North compete, but now we do get to see them battle it out here. Big damage coming across. He does have the Peacekeeper trying to lay into them, but he's getting forced and pressured out. He has to queue down, but Manditrasa and Taishin will be able to find two, and now it's a 1v3 to finish it all off. He's got the PK in hand. Did decent damage, and they're gonna get the melee knock onto Kuya. They just have to finish off the thirst, and it looks like Kuya is the final member alive, and North will walk away here.
And the rest of the team goes down as well. Snipetown might get taken out by Storm here. Nope, he barely makes it in. Last team, are they gonna drop? Snipetown's gonna just zipline juggle, and it looks like Saint RKN are just gonna have to take out a 50 HP Watson as he falls, and that is well played from the low ground team. Are they?
6 cents, yeah.
Are they gonna try to hit this rat right here? Good 100 spray from Hal. It's gonna be a phase. You might see a push from the other team. It's now or never for the other team. They might come out once they see the knock on the kill feed, but I mean, they're still, TSM's still very healthy. Nate comes in from the other rat team. Vayne goes down. Let's see if we see an instant push from the other team. Alberelli and Reps are gonna be able to hold off as Hal heals.
If they had any utility, I'm looking right now, Guards player has no nades on him whatsoever, so they weren't able to apply any pressure. Hal's going to go ahead and set up a separate angle for them with that portal now going in with the R9. Decent damage. Abralele gets the first knock, and TSM will finish it off. This team now getting pressured here as TSM have that center position right now, working with the angle. They've got the boxes. They've got the spray. Abralele with that Prowler now. He is cracked. We'll go for the armor swap, but TSM are able to finish off Hill's team.
TSM is mobbing. They have no cover right here as Liquid's still on that rock. They have cover, and they're just gonna hide behind these little light posts. This is gonna be hard. He gets knocked right there. Alberelli goes down. Reps goes down as well. Liquid had the position. I thought TSM was in a better position, but apparently Liquid is in a better position than TSM, and they are running up on this last team right here. They have height, but it is a 3v3, so what's gonna happen right now? Big 70 pump on Watson. Gets the knock on the Watson. 3v2 right now. Two players with no shield on Liquid. Nocturnal might go down here. Nocturnal goes down. Huge flick by Flanker right there on the Wraith. 2v1. Lost him left. No ult coming out. No trap. No gas. He gets knocked. Ooh.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here just before game number 4, the conclusion of the North American Apex Legends Weekly here with Esports Arena. Jamerson once again joined by Tom, Tsquared, Taylor, and we've got to talk about the story of the night, Tom. Rogue versus TSM, as it's been back and forth between these two teams.
Back and forth, but just remember the rule. If you don't play Bloodhound in the final game, if you're Hal or Snipetown, no balls.
Hey, you're dead to me. You're dead to us. But this is a very important fight, by the way, as TSM and Rogue face off, and it all starts off here. Huge knock by Snipetown.
Huge by Snipetown, and I believe Hal could have used a cell there instead. Wasn't expecting the headshot to come in from behind the rock, and not able to help the teammates as you don't want to go and try to get that res because they have the high ground. So you could see Reps just desperately trying to fire the wingman shots and get the kills. But this is one of the things I want to point out is the weapons that Dropped has is going to end up biting them in the butt a little bit further on in the replay, because he has to get this res here and he has 20 seconds to go and swap weapons as well. While he's doing that, he's realizing he needs to get out of here and get back over towards the high ground. So unfortunately for them, this results in a slightly late rotate, Jamerson, which means that TSM will pick up more kills on Alberelli's side of the map.
Yeah, Sweet still needed to, of course, full heal at that point, and I believe he does swap off. But you were talking about that. Every single second counts on that rotation. He drops down, he picks up an R9 with the blue mag and everything, and that's great. But during all that time, TSM were just running and gunning. If we take a look at the leaderboard, we can see exactly what TSM were able to do in this game in terms of the lead. Rogue now sitting in first place with 52 points, but TSM just behind them by 7 points at 45. And those 7 points, the difference are the kill points that Rogue were able to pick up in that last game.
And Aim Assist has to be kicking themselves in the butt because they had such a good game number 2, but unfortunately fell short in game number 3. Now they have to go and have a magnificent game if they want to go and take over that number 1 spot that Rogue holds. And as we were talking about in the pregame, it's been Rogue versus TSM constantly battling out for that first and second, kind of creating this friendly rivalry between the two teams. And you love to see such high-end Apex being played, and you also love to see TSM being contested for that number 1 team because they've been so dominant in the past. It's nice to get some nice competition in there, and then that forces out these new ideas from TSM, like the previous comp that we saw with Revenant and Crypto. So you love to see these type of plays. You love to see this kind of Apex.
Yeah, I don't know what's in the water, but we've had 3 games in a row now where a team has had, 15 plus kills in a game. So a lot of aggression coming out right now. But as we are getting set for game number 4, our final game of the evening, will TSM be able to upset Rogue here, coming back from behind after 2 games? That was a huge, huge comeback so far. But they still have to close that out here in game number 4. Now, though, things aren't out of the question for, of course, the rest of the teams in their lobby, but still, that 20-point difference between Aim Assist and Rogue, is that a little bit too much to try and overcome, Tom?
I don't know. We'll see. I feel like a lot of teams are going to be fighting for that 3rd place spot. And like you were saying, this is going to be TSM and Rogue coming down to it. But don't forget about NRG. This is kind of where they shine in these 4th games when they've kind of been eliminated. They seem to like win these games out of nowhere. I remember there was a Mirage Circle over towards the choke last time in game number 4, and they end up winning that one. And I don't think they got top 3, maybe like a 6th or a 5th from that. But these guys don't give up. And that's what you love to see about them. They're not too worried that they had a bad first 3 games. They're taking this all in stride, using it as a learning experience, and realizing that their game is going to come. Like you said, there are only 4 games being played instead of 5 as your typical ALGS finals, so we can speed these up since they're every week. But, you know, these guys, you can't overlook them. Sentinels, Noble even. I believe the other Noble team is back into the game as well after not being able to make game number 3. So it's going to be a very interesting game number 4 here, and whoever comes out hot is going to take the W.
Yeah, and so let's go ahead and head into game number 4, our final game of the evening. This will decide it all. We are on board with TSM, and just like you predicted, they are not going to change anything up. They are going to go for that Crypto Revenant comp once again. Like I said, there's a lot to feast on here on the outer edges of World's Edge. As you see the teams, you see the trails going over towards No Name, going over towards Overlook, and we know how fast they rotate. Around 2 minutes, 1:40 is when they start getting out of East Fragment here. But over at Thermal, it's going to be Tech going down early on, but nice spray down from the R99, but Lion does back away. Panders isn't quite ready to fight yet, and Lion, you know, he's brave, but taking a 1v3 can be a little bit troublesome here. We'll see if they can try and pick up his banner for Tech.
Interesting that they end up landing over towards this team, and Panda's just getting ripped as he's faced in a 3v1. Lion's now going to be coming in from behind, but you don't see any resources being used from Panda's, probably because it's so early in the game he doesn't have any. So now if we have a C3v1, it has to really happen, and that flatline spray, just a little bit too much there for Lion to handle. Multiple armors coming out, and you could see these guys collapsing. Nice little wall bounce there to try to speed up the process. They're going to hunt Lion down. They see him through the window. Lion's bubble should be down for a couple more seconds as well. Nice grenade there to go and cut off the angle and doing just enough damage for his teammate to come in from behind with the EVA 8. Albad coming in with a disrespect.
All right, Sumo, you still have to clutch this. You still have to close this game out. All right. On board with TSM, take a look at that. Reps with the purple armor, Alber with the blue, and Imperial House sitting on that white. And they've got the team right below them. This might just be Lindsay's team once again. I'm not entirely too sure who it is on the opposite end, but he hears them here in the diner. And I don't know how far away the rest of his team is to try and follow up on this, but Hal is going to try and stay silent here. Albert Lely right below them on the first floor. Is he AFK?
I don't think he's AFK. He's just waiting for an opportunity to go and make some sort of Revenant play, possibly a little crawl. Maybe they're trying to get an armor check there. But since Hal gets hit, there it is. They go and back off and flank around. Reps getting the wingman knock onto Cherish. And they're going to reset here, heal, realize that they have the man advantage, and go and try to pick off more kills. And you don't want to give TSM the momentum early in the game after such a strong game number 3. They're going to do exactly what they did and start to snowball and steamroll this lobby.
There we go. These kills are important. Remember, first and second place, Rogue. I believe we're sitting at 52 points, TSM at 45. Now that lead is cut down to 6 as TSM are on the hunt. Albert Lely already over at No Name, but it looks like Lindsay and company might have been able to make their way over to Vault Town. Back on board over here, NRG, I believe, might be fighting Horizon, Nasky, and Kupski. I'm not entirely too sure who they're fighting. But, oh, this is another squad. This is another full 3-man for TSM to run into. That's Lindsay going down as Albert Lely. Actually, Frapper going down. Albert Lely was able to get that knock at Lindsay just beforehand.
And they're smelling more blood. This is the time that their ults come right back up. You could see the portal coming up, and that means that they're going to have the Death Totem and the EMP here very shortly. You could see Reps in drone form trying to get some information. That team's smart decision to go and run away there, but the silence is coming in left and right for Alberley. They're not slowing down. They continue to try to chase. Maybe they feel like they need to heal, but this is completely away from the zone. As you can see, just the first zone, not a big deal because they know they need to go and pick up these kills, even a portal being used. So they're not going to stop, and they know they're not going to get third party. I think that's why you're seeing so much aggression. There's zero chance that a team's going to be coming out and rotating from Lava City to Geyser right now.
Why did they split? Why did they split? 2 went left, 1 went right, and now TSM are just on their heels. This is what they want. Massive comes out and hits for 80 across 2 of them here. Thermite on the door, and it looks like they should be able to get that knock finally as Hal just ended up getting like 14s there. Dainty just full W keys onto him, is able to get that down. Now TSM, gotta be careful just a little bit. There is, of course, the silence coming out, and they will be able to finish this off shortly here. Reps will go ahead and stabilize as Albert Lely covers for him, and these are such valuable points for TSM.
You ever watch, Animal Planet growing up and watch wolves hunt against people, and you see the weak link kind of split up and will go stray away from his group? Well, that's kind of exactly what happened right there. These guys are hunters. They're going out there and trying to get these kills as fast as possible, just feasting on the players in the lobby, picking up so many kills early on. And this comp really starting to show for TSM because they're playing with absolutely no fear. It has to be such a scary thing to watch these players go and charge you, not once, but twice because they have the Death Totem. So TSM playing this one to perfection so far. Is tons of action happening over towards Skyhook. They might as well just call this Grief City with the way these teams have been just going after one another. Skyhook's supposed to be one of these areas where you have this mutual respect for one another. You just land there, get your loot, and just go on your happy merry all way, but they're not having it. Everybody here fighting it out to the death.
Yeah, usually that's the case when there's like 2 squads that drop at Skyhook, but once you add that 3rd squad in, it does become kind of a free-for-all. Splitting it that way, usually, again, it's like Fragment, right? West and East, you split it that way. Now we do have the Gibraltar ultimate coming down. Fat Fruit Ninja did get some connects with it as he pushes now onto this bubble, onto a gold armor, but there's a second player right behind him, chases after him, turns around onto that Watson. They'll get the knock onto Scary Uncle here, but that R9 spray has to be careful here, but he gets knocked. It's gonna be the Wraith coming in as Hero is here to try and cover for him, but the bubble's eating up a lot of those shots. The Massive, that last one missing, but the melee will hit. As Impulsive Dream did get finished off, and it doesn't look like he'll be able to get Fat Fruit Ninja up. He hears one above him. A gold armor swap for him as the Massive now with 4 shots has to be careful. As the Gibraltar does crawl in. There's 2 people right behind him. Only hits for 11, and oh no! Do you see how much damage he took during that animation? Oh, he will go down. And that's the cleanup coming out from Horizon and Nasky and Kupski.
And there's just nothing you can do there, right? You win the team fight, you're feeling good, great shots left and right. They did some fantastic individual plays, but how are you going to be one person and take down an entire pro team with this type of armor and a death totem on the ground? It's just not possible. There's literally nothing you can do. You just have to take your kill points and hope that it was enough to push you up towards the top. But as we know from the leaderboard, none of those teams had a chance to get towards top 3 unless they had a phenomenal game with the dub and a lot of kill points. So now we see what Godsend's going to be able to do. Another one of these teams that hasn't had the strongest of starts, going to try to do something really big here to try to get into that 30 point mark, which is where Aim Assist currently sits at 32 in 3rd place.
Yeah, to be fair, you know, Nasky and Horizon both playing from EU. I believe Nasky from Sweden and Horizon from the United Kingdom. Horizon actually a controller player. I figured that out about 2 weeks ago, and he's a character. If you ever want to check out his stream, you definitely should. He is definitely a character. I enjoy watching him.
Have not seen him yet, but I'll take your word for it, Jamerson, and check him out. I like Nasky as well. This whole team, big fans of everybody. Love the Apex community and the way everyone seems to be so positive and help one another out. Definitely one of the best communities I've ever been a part of. And now we're looking at another one of these weird team compositions, though. You have Revenant and Gibby. So one of the things I love about this meta is you're not seeing the same thing with the Watson and the Pathfinder or the Watson and the Gibby. A couple of different options here for people to go play, but still no Bloodhound, and I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, we did see who picked up the Bloodhound. No, never mind. I'm thinking about the qualifiers. On board with TSM, they're trying to actually sit here and lay wait because they might have heard the teams rotating from Skyhook, and so they're trying to set up a trap, and it might work, but we're seeing that the fight's actually taking place over at West Fragment. As soon as they hear the gunshots, they're going to be right on top of them. They're already on the move.
Yeah, they're rotating because there's this internal clock of when is someone going to rotate. If you don't see it quite yet, then you hear the gunshots and you start to think about where you could go in third party. This one, you again have the resources in terms of your ultimates. That's going to help you close and distance that gap as fights happening all over the map right now as the rotation's coming in. And there's the Bloodhound. It's Xenox.
This is their composition. This is what we saw. Sentinels actually come back and get what, like a 20-something kill game, I think, and ended up like pushing all the way up to 2nd or 3rd place in one of our weeklies. But also we're seeing that Nasky and Horizon, they're in that fight. We should go back over to TSM, who's probably getting ready to go for that 3rd party onto them right now. If we could swap on over to TSM.
Seeing the kill feed, Designful picking up kills onto RCO. That's the 2nd time that they've gotten kills onto that team too. So if Aim Assist in 3rd place is able to continue to add some kills on, as you're right, Albrille picking up a couple of kills too, Hal picking up 1 as well, and that should be the clean sweep for the rest of the team. Is a nice shotgun Mastiff onto Hal is going to take him down. If Nasky gets that finish, that could throw off TSM's game big time.
Oh no, he got the knock on to Reps as well. It's all just Albrille watching his back right now as he charges forward. Looks like he will be able to get the res at the very least. And yeah, Nasky got finished off. And so they should be able to stabilize. They're getting the heals off right now. I don't know who that last team is, but do they just go down to the ring here?
I believe they have enough time to hit a syringe here. This is just the first round closing, and Hal's going to go and hit that syringe. And you can see the zone is pretty far. They're going to have to loot the boxes in front of them if they want to stand a chance. Just depends on how much healing is going to be in these loot boxes here, as they have a far way to go. And I believe they used their portal to get into that fight. So not expecting to get knocked by the triple take that came from the building, as you saw where Hal goes and peeks across. But now you see where this zone is possibly ending, and it's going to be thermal. So these teams that are in position right now, especially that specific house, is a very strong spot to be, because a lot of teams will just try to flood into this area. You pick up a lot of kills on these specific circles, because it's not like where, you know, the circle is on across from Sorting Factory. This has a lot more action, a lot more fights, and a lot more people that are in desperate situations running directly towards you.
As a quick update, TSM Hal did have a golden armor, and so Reps is safely healing up through. But again, they have to hope that they have a lot of heals to work with. Currently, Rogue sitting with no kill points. TSM, they have closed the gap. They have taken the lead, putting up 8 kill points here so far in this game. So they are now in first place with 1 point.
Update the people. how many points were they behind when they first started as they played Pass the Baton, aka Pass the Gold Armor, so everyone could heal?
They were down by 7 points at the start of this game, and they have closed that gap. They have taken the lead. And TSM, before this even, they were down by 12, I believe, going into game number 3. And so they have closed the gap. They still have the gold armor. Oh, no, it's Reps going down. Beznako, as a solo player, playing Gatekeeper up against TSM, just going to grief their game.
He's getting portaled out, though. If they're able to land that portal, that's going to be huge.
Oh, is it long enough,
Beznako,
though?
just the single griefer here, is going to go and drop his armor and ends up getting taken out. So great job there, just playing his life as long as possible. They do end up getting the kill onto Reps, and that's just so unfortunate. A triple take of all things across the map from a solo. The good thing about playing Edge, though, is you're not over in Thermal where all the teams are just stacked out of their minds waiting for someone to get respawned or waiting for some sort of action. They should be able to get Reps back here, and he should be able to make it to his box. 45 seconds, I feel like that's enough time.
Yeah, they've got the respawn beacon right there as on the western side of Train Yard here. Albert Laley playing scout will be able to get some decent information for them over here at Drill Site. Now, this ending, it looks like it should be pulling basically towards that respawn beacon, I believe, over here in Drill Site. I think that's what this circle is. Not entirely too sure. It's been a while since I've seen this one.
If Rogue is set up over towards Lava Fisher, this is where it's going to be. You know, Drill Site, it very rarely rotates over there unless you have more of the circle on that side. This one is definitely going to be a Lava Fisher ending, and it's going to be right at that house that Snipedown's crew was zoomed in on, where Rogue was shooting that team with the scout on top of the roof. So now Snipedown's team, they're going to rotate on over here to this house, which is another good, powerful position to hold people off of Drill Site coming around as they try to get into there. So expect definitely 1 or 2 teams to be in this area, and you could see there's not much cover for these teams as well. And no teams are going to go and push this building from the Lava Fisher side. So all they have to do is worry about Drill Site and their back. And while this is happening, I believe Reps is probably getting respawned over towards the train side, most likely making his way over towards the loot, and then Snipedown just calling out what's going on behind them, and no action really happening on this side because surprisingly, Jamerson, there's only 8 teams left.
Yeah, we saw a lot of fighting early on. That was TSM really just laying waste to the lobby. Yeah, and they've got 9 kill points to their name, 2 points ahead of Rogue currently. So these final placement points could actually be the difference here. Even though Rogue have not been able to get any kills so far, if they can just place ahead of TSM, that could be the difference maker.
And that's what they've been setting up for the entire game. Purple armors, plenty of resources, scout and devotion on Snipedown, a very solid combination. They're just looking for this rotation right here to come in. One team coming in behind them, picking up those 3 kill points, eliminating one team, and then making it to that final fight is really all they're looking for, because they're trying to milk maybe 15, 20 points. They probably feel like that's a strong enough game for them to move on. Meanwhile, TSM, they know that they need something more along the lines of 20, 25 points since they were down 7.
The ring does pull to the north, so away from Lava Fisher, away from Drill Site, making fools of both of us. But like you said, this is still a really good ring for Rogue. They're on the edge. There's 2 teams still in Lava Fisher proper for them to try and pick up. So this is 6 kill points. If they're disciplined enough, if they're able to, of course, focus fire well, that they can pick up. Again, every single kill point is going to matter here as it's so close. 2 points separating them and TSM right now.
TSM's going to have less resistance. They do have a team right next to them, but Rogue's going to have a lot to deal with because they're in a very powerful spot for all the teams that are rotating out of Lava Fisher. So they have to gatekeep on that side and worry about their back the entire time. And if people realize that they're getting griefed, if they see a Gibraltar all over towards that side, you know TSM's going to go and push that. I wouldn't be surprised if they even end up leaving this house and trying to take some high ground on the hilltop right here, because no one, again, was expecting this circle to go and pull over towards this side. So I think this is, I'm not sure exactly where this is going to end. Maybe it's going to end over towards where the choke is, more central of this circle right here. But I don't feel like TSM is super comfortable being in this spot without a Watson right now. They're trying to find a spot where they can go, find a third party, get some more kills, and then snowball from there as we take a look at players that are just trapped on the bottom of the map right now. Great positioning from Songbird and Mollis.
Ooh, Sweet was able to knock one off of the balloon as they were trying to take a balloon rotate beyond Rogue at this point. But this is what we're talking about. Sung getting pressured just a little bit. They got the knock onto Prodigy Aces here. It was a trade, not exactly a trade, excuse me. As a Wave Pride from a different team, they will be able to finish them off. They have to be careful with this position. They can't give up the north. TSM looking for a way in, but we do see on the kill feed, it's going to be dropped and Rogue in them to pick up a few kill points. That's going to be 3 for them. These are important kills. Again, I cannot state this enough. Right now, it is Rogue once again back in the lead by 1 point.
And that's exactly what Rogue was looking for the entire time. They spent the entire game posturing over towards the Lava Fisher's side, just waiting for a circle to close where they could gatekeep. They rotated to numerous buildings, trying to get different positions, trying to get different information that was going on. Meanwhile, Hal, Reps, and Alberly just waiting for an opportunity to use their ults in deciding which team that they're going to go in on. The main problem that they face is the team directly right next to them. They can't really do anything with this team that's inside of the house, because if they commit to anything, they're going to lose their positioning. They're also going to lose a lot of HP, and anything could happen at that point where they go and add a little bit of RNG into the game. So they have to play a little bit more conservative than they would like to with this team composition, and have to wait for other teams to make mistakes before they go in there and make their move. But instead, they're going to go and hit their ult and possibly try to clear out this team over towards their side. As we were talking about, this team is a big threat.
Oh, we've got the EMP coming out. Alberlele already got cleared along with Hal. They're sent back in the Death Totem. And now all of the ultimates for the Death Totem gonna be used up, and so they have to heal up now. And so there's a one chance, and that was a great deflection coming out from that team to make sure they don't get absolutely pressured. On the other side, I'm taking a look at Rogue right now. They have a team to their south, and they need to clear them out. They have a clear path to get a decent ledge to work with, where they can get out of line of sight. But again, there's a team to their south that they really have to worry about. Hal, though, going to start off with that portal, but we have the Gibraltar ultimate coming down, and he's going to be able to pop that Q, get in, drop down that portal for his team, and he found a nice little pocket for him to work with that might be safe. He's going to wrap around to the high ground with a decent spray down, is able to crack him, but no, Sung turns on him. Reps goes down, and that's TSM cleared. This might just be it. Rogue to finish it all off. It was sniped down that finished off Alberlele, as now Aim Assist is still in on this. Gentrifying and Designful here on the low ground, trying to clean it up, but I think it's just for Rogue here, sitting as a full 3. Saucer is alive as a solo, Gentrifying is alive as a solo, and Bird and Mollis as a duo. And it might just be Rogue to finish it all out. We just have to see by how much.
As you were saying, Jamerson, they're playing the long game, the end game, trying to get those W's, trying to get those points from the placement, instead of TSM with the aggressive playstyle. And it all changed when TSM charged into the house and got reset so quickly. And now Rogue taking advantage of that. So with, like you said, 3 squads left, one of them being a solo and one of them being a duo, this is Rogue's opportunity to close this one out.
So looks like there we go. That's the knock. Sung's team was able to actually res 1. But now there's the knock, and Rogue, they know they have to push onto this team. It's a trio here, as you got a good spray down. Here's the Massive giving him the stiff arm as Mollis will go down. He pushes forward, and they will be able to clean up the lobby. And despite some heroic efforts coming out from DSM, despite 2 strong games in a row where they just held W on the lobby for the most part, TSM just were not able to do it. Rogue's consistency throughout this tournament will win it out for them. Ultimately, in the end, getting 10 kill points and first place there. That's going to be 22 points, and TSM just falls short.
As we were saying, 15 to 20 points was going to be more than enough for Rogue to go and take first place there, unless TSM wins with something around 20 to 25 points. They end up putting up 22 on Rogue's side. And we use this word so many times throughout the tournament today. Discipline is where Rogue really takes the prize here and just separates themselves from the other teams in the way that they're able to play. You would say 5 squads left, no kills. These guys are camping. What are they doing? Blah, blah, blah. Well, they know what they're doing because they're looking like one of the strongest teams right now, if not the strongest team. They wait for the right opportunity. They let the game unfold. They let the game come to them, and they punish teams for their mistakes in terms of fighting in front of them, and they don't miss their shots. They win a lot of team fights. They only lost 1 team fight there, which was the end of game number 3, and that was because of the fact that they just, took some bad positioning there, and that was a straight up one-on-one. But when it comes to third partying things, when it comes time to putting themselves in the right position, Rogue really shines.
Yeah, again, one of the most consistent teams, and especially in reading this lobby, right? That was an important thing that we have to note, that this wasn't the absolutely stacked lobbies that we've been having for the past few weeks, right? We're missing out on complexity, we're missing out on liquid. A lot of the stronger squads that we're used to seeing this week around, schedules are a little bit heavy, and so you have to be able to read the lobby, understand your relative strength amongst everyone who is dropping around you, and taking advantage of that. And so this is going to be a different skill set, another skill set that you have to develop as we have some of these community tournaments coming out. I mean, we've got another tournament coming out tomorrow as well, I believe, Daltush's community tournament. So like we said, we like to support each other here in Apex Legends. So go ahead, and if you haven't, give Daltush a follow as well. I believe the games are tomorrow, right? Are you playing
It's on the 17th.
It's on the 17th. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Why did I read the 9th?
I don't know.
Okay, well, no, that doesn't make any sense. I think GLL is actually
maybe
tomorrow.
you read a wrong graphic. You may have read a wrong graphic, something like that.
But make sure you guys follow Daltush as well.
Oh yeah, Daltush is the man. Definitely awesome to see him throwing the first community tournament from an actual player itself. But this is the fight that we were talking about right there, where there's just nothing that you can do, and so much was happening on the Skyhook side of the map. It's almost like if you landed there, you weren't going to make it into the top 3 because you have so many skilled teams that were just willing to fight it out right there. And once one fight breaks loose, another fight's going to break loose, another one's going to break loose, and I got my Bloodhound wish, and that's really all I care about.
Yeah, we had a great push coming out from Sentinels here. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to continue their early game successes. They found these early game fights. This is one of the issues that slowed them down. Yeah, that's Nako as a solo.
This guy made a name for himself this tournament. He sits there and is like fending off TSM as a solo with his triple take. He had a nasty 2v1 against aim assist as well. So definitely big Beznako fan after watching today's events. But look at these nice R9 sprays across the map there from Rogue, really feeling that once they saw TSM drop into that lobby after they used their resources, they used the death totem, they used the MP, they got sent back. Hal had to use his portal. Hal flanks around on the Caustic team. They're not able to get those kills. And then Rogue just converges and takes advantage of the map because they're now the strongest team on not on King's on World's Edge. So great job by them, great job by Rogue, and hats off to all the players.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. We will be taking a short break though, guys, as we go ahead and tabulate the results. We just want to make sure, because remember, here at the Esports Arena Weekly, it is the top 3 that place in money, and they will be splitting, of course, our prize pool of $1,000. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with the results for the Esports Arena North American Weekly. We'll be right back.
Doesn't take long for Happy to go.
Made on the knockout promo, so they're just gonna push on with this.
They're just pushing. They seem to be very comfortable in this area, not worried about any third. He gets his armor broken. Wraith reach out. He gets the knock with that Havoc on Bronze. He's gonna phase back, probably crank
them as a duo, Rogue as a trio, looking to finish this all out.
And this is tough. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. This height on this side. Probably gonna win the game. Snaps goes up. Tries to do as much as he can, but gets taken out. Not enough, and they will finish off that last goal knockdown, and that's game 1 right there. Looking up, and here it goes. No bubble yet, so that means that team's still up top. Timmy hitting the zipline juggle, falls down, is gonna have to try to hit another zipline juggle, and it is just an absolute mess in there. Timmy hitting the juggle, dives to Storm, and you saw about 15 boxes pop up right there. Who knows what happened? And you got Rogue winning a second game? They seem to be shooting inside, so there might be 3 teams here. I'm not sure. I can't tell.
Go ahead and push forward. I think it might be Rogue.
Might see a double kick on the door here. One goes down. Door opens. Pathfinder gets the... He's gonna get traded right here. A big right hook to the chest. Takes him out. They're just gonna get chipped at over and over again until they die. Once they get in this tunnel, it's probably over for them.
Kind of killing field. This train might help them out.
The train, it could push them into Storm.
Yeah.
It's going the wrong way. If it was going towards them, that would be absolutely massive, but it's just going the wrong way. But they have cover. They're probably rotating on the far side as we speak. Once this train disappears, we are going to see people on the right side. Yep, and here we go. Rocker gets knocked immediately.
Is the train the actual MVP?
Fresh is 1 HP, and they get a quick push, and they... Oh, Oh my goodness, the train. The terrain.
Oh my
Provided
God.
the essential cover at the right moment.
The past 4 years at Esports Arena, we really didn't know what our identity was. We tried our pro tournaments, we tried running content pieces, we tried doing music events, we had our memberships. We realized that the community just always kept coming back for our local tournaments, for every Wednesday night, every Friday night, every Thursday night. So then it hit us. Series E is going to revolutionize the esports industry. You as a competitor now have consistency to come and compete. You get to keep coming back and let it count for something. That opportunity to get paid by Esports Arena, to get paid by a major brand that's helping support this league, this foundation, because so many times the dollars stop at the pro level. They stop there. They never trickle down to the guys like us, the guys that had the dreams, that wanted to make it, to become a pro, but never had that opportunity because they lived in somewhere in Alaska or somewhere in Idaho. No offense, Idaho, I like you guys, you're still cool, potatoes. But when you don't have that opportunity, like a guy who's from LA or...
Welcome back for the final time tonight. Jamerson joined once again by Tom Tsquared Taylor, and now we have the results after 4 games. I think we're not surprised by the finishing result here in first place. Tom, would you like to do the honors?
Oh, it's definitely got to be Rogue taking first place. We were keeping track of it the entire time, and 74 big points on the board. Walk us through the rest, Jamerson.
Yeah, TSM, despite a valiant effort there, they just, the cards just weren't in their hands, right? Like at that point, they were dealt a pretty difficult hand there as they were just sandwiched, the team to the north, the team to their west, and that push that they tried to make just did not work out for them. They got wiped out. And so they only got 58 points there, coming in second. And to finish off our top 3, Aim Assist with 46 points. So congratulations to Rogue, TSM, and Aim Assist. I'm glad to see these top 3 teams. They've all won our weeklies before, and we're seeing that consistency coming out from these squads.
No doubt about it. Difficult, tough time for Sentinels, NRG. I'm expecting to see them bounce back this weekend in the ALGS. Expect big things coming out from these guys. Again, everybody uses the weekly tournaments as kind of like a sparring grounds to get ready for, they say it's the most serious practice that they're going to get. So it's exciting to see this consistency coming in, but it's also exciting to see the teams that are coming even more hungry and more determined now because they feel like they had an underwhelming place in here. But I got to just give hats off to Rogue for how well and patient that they played that. And also kudos to a lot of the teams that were going and playing aggressive. I like to see that aggressive play style. So many times we saw, teams using different compositions. Those are the things I love to see. I love the new test of things. I love the way that Tech's team was playing Noble. They were using the crypto. They picked up a lot of kills there. So just well-rounded, fun Apex together all around.
Yeah, again, this is just an amazing community. While we did have some noticeable names not showing up this week, hopefully they'll be able to come back around because we do these weekly. EU, we stream on Tuesdays, and North America, of course, here on Wednesdays. So, I saw Madness in chat, by the way. So if Team Skirt can come back around and Yeet Squad, all these other names that we're used to seeing would come play again, it'd be awesome because we've been having some great weeks of play. And so, Tom, before we close out the week, any final words from you?
Just the typical, man. Shout out to all the people watching. Shout out to all the players in the lobby. Shout out to the Esports Arena staff, the production crew behind the scenes. Much love to you guys. Much love to Respawn and the EA team over there. And we'll see you guys for the next one next week.
Yeah, so continue to go ahead and support Apex Legends Esports. We got GLL going on this week. We got Summer Circuit Online Tournament number 2 this weekend as well. And we're going to have the Daltouche, I guess, Invitational. That'll be taking place on the 19th, we figured out. So make sure you also follow Daltouche for that. We got a lot of things going on. But of course, here at the Hub at Esports Arena, we got 2 tournaments a week. But that's going to do it for us, guys. From me, from Tom, from Esports Arena, and everyone else involved, thank you all for tuning in. We will see you guys next week, and have a good night.